Sit back and relax while I listen to Train Kickers podcast. I'm Dave, and along with my co-hosts Dan and Steve, we're taking all around the world of miniature wargaming. On tonight's episode, we're going to continue our ever deeper dive here into the Necrons. Last time we were able to get through anything that had the word character attached. Today, we're just honestly going to see how far we get. Mainline, we still got like 25 or so things left, and then there's the Forge World entries as well. We're under no assumption that we're going to get through it all. Now, the title of this episode is going to tell you how far we get, or some sort of indication. And I'll make sure, obviously, look at the show notes, you'll be able to see how far we get. But hope is to at least get through halfway, maybe a little more than halfway. Next time we can do that, and then we can also talk list building or something like that. We'll see exactly how far we get. As you can see, still, unfortunately, no Steve, or hopefully you should see him in person, at least in another week or so. At the Conquest Tournament. Are you going to the Conquest Tournament, Toy Wiz?
No, I wasn't told in time, and I didn't make plans ahead.
Okay,
so
good.
No.
I will be there, so we'll be recording out of that. We've already planned that, so hopefully we'll have 3 recorded games out of that. Might get a recorded game of some other stuff tomorrow, and maybe a few other things shortly, so we should have some other recorded type content, some battle reports and all that coming out soon, and as I settle into my work schedule, hopefully some other things that have just been put back burner for a little bit. I think that's enough rambling for now, so on with the show. All right, did you decide what you're going to get for dinner?
Yeah, I'm going to do probably, there's like a vegetable ramen that's looking real good.
I was never one for ramen, but the last time I had it, it came in a bag and 300% sodium. So like maybe I just haven't had good ramen.
Oh, the best ramen I ever had is, it's not a dirty place. I'm just going to say like it's a dirty place. I don't
like the way you said that. No, if you got a premise, man, this place ain't crap.
There's a word I'm trying to think. Like a hole in the wall.
Okay.
Right?
Hole in the wall.
That's better than dirty, right? Yeah.
Well, no, because hole in the wall doesn't imply that it's not sanitary. Hole in the wall usually just implies it's usually smaller, not as well known, more out of the way.
So yeah, it's like this little hole in the wall place. I don't know if it still exists. It was in New York City, right near what's the triangle area? It's really important in New York City. It's basically the building splits like a triangle.
I know what you're talking about. I'm aware of the building.
No, not Broadway. No, it's not
Manhattan.
Broadway. No, but like specific area of Manhattan.
I don't know, downtown. I have no idea.
The point is, it's right around there.
Okay.
And it was called Sapporo's, which is such a general name for most, but they had the best goddamn biggest bowl of ramen. It was like $12, $13, and it was just like a dish bowl of just, it was so good because it wasn't like fancy. It wasn't like, oh, it's got, organically grown avocados hand sliced by an alpaca in the Zelbibi Mountains.
Why would you put avocados in ramen? That sounds terrible.
I've been to places that are super pretentious about the ramen. Yeah. And this was not that. It was, here's a $13 bowl of ramen. It's like this big.
Yeah.
Enjoy. It's such a good place to eat. I don't know if they exist anymore though. And I haven't been able to like capture that level of like lunch ramen ever. Because again, the last place we ate, I'm not going to mention the name of this place. We went to Liberty Science Center, and there's a joint near there that served ramen, and it was really good.
Probably like only one place near that does ramen.
Very delicious. Don't get me wrong,
but
hilariously delicious. It's just so pretentious.
Okay.
So pretentious, like arugula, organically grown arugula, and like soy meat. Like it was just
arugula.
Like it's
in itself is pretentious.
Yeah, it's just. Listen again. The ramen was delicious, hands down. But it was like eating it. I was just like,
I don't do ramen much. I've had pho before, like that. I like.
Pho's good too.
But I'm also that degenerate, much like I do with my soups, where I don't drink the broth or anything. But I also microwave ice cream, so
What the what, Dave?
Yeah, I like my ice cream not fully melted, not like a puddle, but reasonably well melted. Yeah. So that's how I eat it.
Dave, how do you pour your cereal?
One, I don't eat cereal. I try to do very low carb, especially in the morning. But two, if I do cereal, into a bowl.
No, okay. So what do you pour first?
Cereal.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
No,
No, it's okay.
no.
They redeemed.
Here's what you don't realize. All I pour is cereal. No milk, no nothing.
Oh no, milk. Okay, but you
No,
still
no.
pour the cereal first. I'll allow
Well,
it.
yeah. Well, there's no other way. I mean, but
Well, you're better than I know someone who does milk before cereal. I know
what,
another
Shane?
person. Wait. I know another person who does orange juice.
I've heard that. I think it's weird.
I
I understand vaguely the conceptual reason why you can't do milk, and maybe you
Yeah.
don't believe that you should be able to get milk from an almond or something like that. Sure. But you shouldn't use parts of an orange either. That's just weird. Put it in the cup, let it be separate.
He mixes Fruit Loops and orange juice. By the way,
That's at least like less offensive because I was thinking like
so
Raisin
sugar
Bran.
and sugar. Exactly.
Yeah, Fruit Loops are just sugar anyway. So I'm putting it in something else, maybe at the same time. It's like that idea. Some people will eat their food in separate bits. So like, oh, here's my meal with like three things. I finished this and I finished this and so on. And other people are like, I'm just going to eat it all because it all goes to the same place. It's that idea taken to another extreme that I'm uncomfortable with.
Yep.
So leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube if you do a terrible food crime like these. And we'll
Oh, well,
talk
we
about
didn't
it
even
next
say
time.
terrible food crime. I didn't even mention my terrible food crime, so we're not going to even.
Now,
we're not
now we need to know your terrible food crime. I will
No,
be
that'd
judge,
another-
jury, and executioner here
that'll be another episode. That would have to be
on
another
food
episode.
crime. Oh God, I'm worried about okay. Maybe it just takes too long for you to talk about.
Demonetized.
Nah,
YouTube just demonetizes us for the sheer fact of how horrible my food crime is.
I don't know. All right,
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
curious now. Have I ever seen you do this?
No, thank God, no one has ever
Okay.
seen me do this. Sans my wife once, and the look of and you know Ari,
I
the
know
look
her,
of
yeah.
horror on her face made me never do it again.
I don't know. So that's like a one-time crime. That's more of
No.
That's like a lesser
I do it
level.
multiple times, just not in front of her.
Oh, okay. So
Oh yeah.
all right. So this is like a serial level of this then. SER and all that. Okay, got it. I don't think I do anything. I probably do other weird stuff. I don't know. With the way my stomach is, I'm very particular about my diet and exactly what I can eat. I talked about ice
Very
cream.
true.
I can't do dairy, so it's made from almonds or coconuts or all kinds of crap.
Well, neither I can't do dairy either, but
No. Well, you it bothers me. I have an allergy.
yeah.
I finally decided I should stop doing it when I was like, my lip keeps breaking out and like swelling.
Oh.
This is probably a problem. So I stopped.
At worst, I need a bathroom break, but
Yeah.
no, not that bad.
Nah, that's why I stopped drinking milk when I was a kid. Other dairy I thought was okay. Just when I got older, it bugged me more. Don't get old. Well, get older because like the other option is worse. But although, maybe we'll talk about this next time. We've had a speaker in at the college before who his field of research is essentially aging, and he's talking about trials they're currently doing with a shot that brings back the telos, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, on your chromosomes, because that essentially when that goes away, that's why your cells stop coming back.
Yeah.
Like and they were actually
don't know,
able to
man.
get mice that normally live 1 to 2 years to live 5+ years with this, because the idea is it literally reverses bodily what your age is.
So not okay.
You won't
not
look
to derail
younger,
this
but
into
we already
not to
have.
derail this into like Necron because we got to do Necrons, but
It fits.
I don't know.
They're ageless.
Man. Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know, man. Like
What?
at a certain point, if I hit 80 and 90,
But
what the fuck? What
but
the
here's
fuck can
the
I
thing
do
to
at
keep
that
in
point?
mind. Okay, 80 and 90 now is that means something in a different way.
Yeah.
So if let's say 80, because that's a decent ballpark number. For a lot of people who are 80, by that point you have a lot of cells that don't function the same way. You have a lot of different parts of you that might be falling apart and issues. Some people get well into the 90s and are fine. Other
Yeah.
people get near there and unfortunately their body's starting to crumble on them. What this does won't make you look younger, but what it does is it's going to essentially repair internal damage. So one thing they did with mice that were essentially blinded, they used this and it actually gave them their vision back. It actually worked almost like stem cells. So the belief is that
Interesting.
the belief is that this could make you live like to maybe about 150. I've talked with the guy a couple of years back, and he said at that point there's no reason people couldn't live to be about 150. He's like, that's well within our grasp. We understand how we can make it happen. We just need the technology to do it. And right now they're running the tests on that, essentially on that technology. No idea when human trials, anything like that. I just know through both discussions with him and his research. I forget if he's out of Princeton or Harvard or one of those. I'll look up his name and I'll put it in show notes because I can't remember right now and I don't want to take the break to find it. But I don't remember how we got on that. But let's get to other things that are functionally
It's about
immortal.
ageless in a different way.
Exactly. But we're going to start with warriors and not start with the immortals. So like we said last time, we are going through Necrons. We went through everyone that said character on it. Goal tonight is to start looking at the other units. Again, I don't know how far we'll get. We're hoping probably for at least half, but we'll have to see. This one's going to be a 3-parter either way because we can't do like 3.5 hours. That's too much. I guess maybe I'll start with warriors because warriors have a lot of shenanigan stuff that you can do with them. All right, so actually, and I pulled up the points. I pulled up my computer so I can click around here. There they are.
I got you.
I hate that they call warriors Necron warriors. I understand why. But that means anytime I look up, well, probably to help differentiate and attach it more because it's more of a generic word. When you say the word immortals, nothing else really fits that. But warrior, they probably don't want to worry about later if they call a bunch of other models warriors.
Oh, I see.
Remember, there is a warrior right now. You have that in Tyranids. So they probably, there's way more Tyranid warriors or Necron warriors.
Yeah.
They want to differentiate. But 120 points for 10, 240 for 20 of these bad boys. Move 5, much like we've seen and we are going to see. For most infantry, it's a move 5. Toughness 4 on a 4-up save. 1 wound, 7 leadership, and 2 for scoring objectives. They are battle line along with Immortals. That's why they're at the flat of 2.
OC2 normally?
For battle line, yes. Battle line is 2. Yeah, if you look at demons and stuff like that, battle line is mostly 2. I'm sure there's some weird cases, but battle line is usually what gets you the least of 1 extra. There might be some units that even go higher, but the normal is 2. Everything in this army, everything we're going to talk about has reanimation. As a brief reminder for reanimation, at the end of your command phase, roll a d3 for every single unit. What you roll for that unit is how many wounds you get back. Yes, you can bring models back from the dead. If every other model is full wounds, you cannot go over where you started. But warriors have the rule the numbers legion. Each time you reanimate, you roll a d6 instead of a d3. And if you're in range of an ejector marker that you control, you do d3 plus 3. So warriors can reanimate potentially twice as much. And if you're near objectives, it's a guaranteed 3 plus a bit extra. So you can really start getting these units back. Weapons-wise, close combat, don't get them in close combat. They hit on 4s, strength 4, 1 damage, but this is a unit that's going to be led by model, which means hitting on 3s. Range weapons, 2 options here. Naturally, both hitting on 4s, but again, you're going to be led. You are absolutely taking someone with this, spend the points, so you're really going to hit on 3s. The Flayer or the Reaper, Flayer and Reaper both have lethal hits, although the Flayer's rapid fire 1. 24-inch range versus 12. The Flayer is 1 shot, so within 12, 2 shots. The Reaper's 12 inches, 2 shots. So at close range, they have the same amount of shots. The Flayer is strength 4 instead of strength 5 for the Reaper. No AP on the Flayer, but -1 on the Reaper, both 1 damage. The Reaper is good if you need the range, because at least you can get shots from further away.
You mean the Flayer?
Flayer, my apologies, Flayer. I personally prefer the Reaper because I don't mind getting close. I want the extra shots, and specifically, I want the extra strength. Because wounding from, say, 3s instead of 4s on your average toughness 4 thing is very meaningful, and the AP helps a lot.
I was going to say the AP is what does it for me.
And if you can get up into a building at a higher level, you could even make an AP -2, because you could be high up enough above units. So I don't mind the lesser range, because a single shot, I want to get close. Even with the flares, I want to get close, so I might be doing some tricks to get closer anyway. So, a few things related to this unit. 1, keep in mind that there's a lot of things that can go in here. And this is a unit that, if you want to take them basic, you could take 10. Don't. You really want
They
to take them.
don't. They're
Take them in
not.
units of 20. They're not survivable just as a unit of 10 on their own. You have a 4-up save and your toughness 4. If they want to get through 10, they can. You do have a stratagem to, get some back essentially after someone's done shooting, which is good. But there's other ways to make these guys more survivable. One, we'll talk about it in a little bit, the Reanimator. The Reanimator gives you an extra D3 naturally. There's some contention on certain things, but for right now, we're going to say an extra D3 when we talk about it. We'll talk about any of those contentions. But you get some extra there. For other people, you can take, if you take, say, a Lord or an Overlord, someone with a Res Orb, now you get your reanimation in each command phase. So if your opponent can't wipe you, you essentially are getting twice as many back. You have a variety of Cryptex that you can throw in. You have Chronomancer if you want to do -1 to hit. You have Technomancer if you want to give Feel No Pain to the unit and potentially get a flat model back or from somewhere else. Other thing a Chronomancer does, the Chronomancer, remember, that's the one that if you shoot weapons that you can then get a 5-inch move afterwards. So if you have an assault weapon, like you can get with the Royal Warden, you could run forward, you could move your 5, run forward your, let's say, 3 inches for around an average. You're at 8. Your weapons are now assault, shoot your weapons, and then you can move 5 inches afterwards. So you could reliably get 13 plus inches up the board, and you just need one weapon to be able to shoot. His weapon's a 24-inch weapon. So even if you have Reapers who can't shoot because you're not close enough, he'll be able to shoot.
Yeah.
This is a unit that absolutely takes a Lord or Overlord. This is a unit that also usually takes some form of Cryptek. And if you really want to point it out, you could even go Crypt Thralls. I would probably save them for my Immortals personally. But if you want this block to be exceptionally tough to move without tons of dedicated firepower, you can absolutely do that. And what's nice, you can also get, so that way their lethal hits are on 5s. So you can make it where they're actually pumping out good damage with that AP -1. If you're taking Reapers, you can actually now really start hurting some people. I forget which one does that because there's so many. It's the, was it Plasmancer? Is he the one that does it?
The Plasmancer is the one who does.
Yes, he's the 5-up for
Yes.
crits. So that's the other
Yep.
option. You put a Plasmancer. If you really want the damage output, Plasmancer. If you want survivability, you're looking at one of the other two. Whether or not you value -1 to hit more or Feel No Pain. So that's the big thing with Warriors. If you take a 20 block and you put the right things in it, they're very tough to shift. They can actually get good damage output, and they can hold your objectives, and that's what you need. And overall, not tons and tons of points. And like I said, they can actually put down some decent damage, especially with all the weapons having those lethal hits. So Warriors are actually quite good. They're not unkillable in any way whatsoever, but your opponent might just decide not to bother with them because of what would need to be dedicated to do it. That frees up the rest of your army, if they want to dedicate into that, to survive out. That's your Doomstalkers. That's all your anti-tank, your Lychguard to be able to actually run up the field, and all of those sort of models. So
It's just a solid battle line unit.
yes,
Period.
yeah, and one of the few units that you can still take 20 of. GW's really reduced the 20s.
I hate that demons can't do 20 anymore. That used to be such a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's been removed in a lot of ways, but that's what there is with Warriors. If you're playing Necrons, pick up a bunch. You're going to need them.
There's always a bunch for cheap on eBay anyway. I always find.
Oh yeah, I have. Oh
They're
god,
so
I have well over
cheap.
100 that aren't together. I have like 20 together, painted, and ready, but I have tons of others just because parts of Indominus boxes and all of that picked up tons of those. One of the other models, and people were selling Necrons for super cheap because they wanted Space Marines.
Yeah, and I was gonna say they were so bad last edition, and now they're like top tier. And I love that they spike.
Yeah. No, the problem last edition, we came out early, so we were good in the beginning, and then it fell apart.
I'm seeing if they're cheap. Let me see here.
You can get them cheap.
3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like is that 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 for 18.
Yeah, that's a really good price.
Yeah. Multiple times 10 for 18. Jesus.
Yeah. I think in most lists I build right now, I'm going with a stack of 20 because I want a little bit more variety, but I could absolutely see going 2 stacks of 20 or something like that.
I would do 2. Honestly, I know it'd be like 480 points.
Yeah, plus
But I
characters.
would
The big
spend a
thing is you got to
quarter.
also put some characters in there.
Yeah, but I would spend a quarter of my army. I'd spend a quarter of my army on just 2 big blocks, and then fill
Yeah.
out the rest with whatever I need.
Yeah. I'm willing to do it. I just don't have them put together in that way yet, but at some point in the future, I'll give it some shots. All right. Why don't you tell us about Immortals, who aren't bad, but a 20 block is super survivable means something.
Yeah, I like these more though because they look like they do more damage. Let's say, so
do.
they same stats except they go to toughness 5 and a 3 up save.
Yes.
That's pretty much the same though. So they're
Yep.
toughness 5, 3 up save. So they're a little tougher. They have implacable eradication. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. And if the enemy unit's in range of an objective mark, you can reroll the wound. So that's just amazing. Custodian warriors have the same thing, but on their melee weapons. So this is just this is great. I love doing it with custodian warriors. I could see shooting on a good shooting platform this being also deadly, especially if you're trying to shoot them off an objective. Great shit. They could get 2 weapons, I believe. Well, let me just scroll
Yeah,
down.
they choose which weapon.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So Gauss Blaster, Tesla Carbine. Honestly, they're almost exactly the same, except so the big difference is the Gauss Blaster is 24 inches, the Tesla Carbine is 18. The Gauss Blaster has the lethal hits. Tesla Carbine trades lethal hits for assault, but sustained hits too. So, and the real only difference, they're both 2 attacks, both hitting on 3s, both strength 5. The Gauss Blaster is AP 1, damage 1. In close combat, I don't give a damn. Now remember, you're going to probably stick a character with them, so they're actually hitting on 2.
Yes.
I want to stick a Plasmomancer in these guys so hard.
These guys do want one. So Immortals, there are 5 models for 70, 10 for 140. A 10 block will get a good amount of shots. The Plasmancer is pretty good on either end. The lethal hits is definitely overall better if you're dealing with very high toughness items. Like you got a lot of vehicles and all this leaf, so you can get the shots in. The Tesla Carbine's a little bit shorter, but that sustained hits 2. That means since you're hitting on 2s, essentially 1/3 of all your shots are getting you 2 extra. So you're getting a whole lot more shots.
Actually, math-wise, hold on. They hit on 2s. They're going to get, what, 20 shots? Hitting on 2s, 20 shots. That's 18 hits. It's 17.
Yes, it's 17 and change, but we'll round it to 18 just to make it.
Let's say 17. Let's go less. So
you're gonna make the math
hits.
harder at 17.
Oh, is it ready? Okay,
yes.
So 18.
Yes,
and of those 18,
1/3 of those.
Yeah, so 6 of them are going to produce doubles.
So they're going to get 12. You 12 extras.
So 30.
Yeah, you're shooting. On pure statistical numbers, you're shooting 20, getting 30 hits. Again, you could spike higher, spike a lot lower.
Yeah, spike
I've
lower,
had plenty of rolls where I don't get above a 4. Like I said, it's a little bit shorter range. The other options you have, since these guys do actually have assault weapons, if you wanted to put, was it the Chronomancer, the one for the move? I always forget if it's I always forget if it's the Chronomancer or the Technomancer. Who has which ability?
You have so many characters I don't remember.
Chronomancer.
Chronomancer. Oh,
Chronomancer is the one when you shoot, you can get a 5-inch move afterwards. That could be a 5-inch move to a better position, or that could be a 5-inch move to pop you off the back of a terrain feature that now your opponent can't see you through.
So neat. Oh god, these guys are. I don't know if I like warriors. It's so sad because I have a bad feeling that I'm going to like most of the things in the Necron army. And I'm going to find it almost impossible to build the 2,000 point list.
To me, they're serving reasonably different purposes. Immortals are much less survivable. Now, they're the better toughness, they're better toughness, which is great. They're better save, which is great. But when you only have 10 models, it's, the 20 pack, I think, survives better in general. For these guys.
I'll say the 20 pack is obviously going to survive more just on sheer weight.
Well, but a lot of that weight comes from the various things that you can put into them. These guys really want most likely that Plasmancer. The Plasmancer helps output, not survivability. If I want something to survive, I want to put in Chronomancer, Technomancer, and I want that in a bigger unit to make sure I get more use of it. I do think Immortals have their place. I think Immortals' goal is to get a little bit closer to midfield. Maybe grab the objective there for a bit and lay maybe the carbines Blasters, good too, but maybe they're carbines in just to pump a lot of damage into some of the lighter mid-range targets.
Yeah.
If I can fit it, I still probably put a Lord in here because one, he's cheaper than the Overlord, and I can now res in both turns.
I'm just laughing. If it fits, it sits. Very cat-like terminology.
Yes.
If I fits, I sits.
Yeah, and like I said, you could do the Overlord instead, but I think the Lord does pretty good, and the Lord gives 1 extra inch to the move, so your shorter weapons, you get a little bit closer. And you can target with bash stratagems, even if they're battle shocked, which is useful because you do have some res stratagems, you have some fire back stratagems. So, I like them a lot.
Very different units, both I love.
Yes.
These are both solid battle line units.
Yeah. Serve a little bit of a different purpose, and I got to build more. I have more Immortals. I just have to paint them. I was going through the other day, realizing I got a lot more stuff to actually build and work on. So I'll have to get
Necrons are such a cool looking army too. I liked their old. Don't get me wrong. I liked their old nondescript. We don't like. They were very spooky, kind of.
Yes.
Before, I like they have more character now, but they're still very, very neat.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right. Are my favorite? Are the destroyers next? Are my favorite?
No, Reanimators. Hexmark is next. After that, this model was
trash.
Probably. Yeah.
No.
Maybe
it was
that's
trash. I remember we talked about this in 9th edition. This model, I don't think this model saw not even tournament play. I don't think it saw the table.
No,
once.
people honestly didn't take them. They just it didn't do what you wanted. So
is this the same platform that has the gun, the mega gun?
It's a bigger version of it. So it looks similar, but this one is maybe like 3 to 4 inches tall.
Okay.
The other one's probably like 7, 8. Mine are upstairs, so I don't know the exact amounts. But so this is the Canoptek Reanimator. It's 95 points. You are going to take 1. And if you're running big blocks of warriors, you might even consider 2. So 7-inch move, toughness 6, which is decent. Has a 3-up save, 6 wounds, 7 leadership. Counts for OC 3, so it might be able to give you a little bit of help on your backfield objective. You don't want this in a spot your opponent could shoot it, because this is absolutely a priority target if your opponent can see it with weapons that could hurt it. It itself has a feel no pain 4-up, so that gets it a decent bit more survivability. Reanimates itself, of course, so it can get its own wounds back. But the big thing is it's Nanoscarab Reanimator Beam. It's an aura. While a friendly Necrons unit is within 12 inches, each time they reanimate, they get an extra D3 wounds. So if you're within 12, when you reanimate, which is your command phase, or if you have a Resorb, both command phases, you get an extra D3 on all those.
So basically, kill the blobs. Like, you do not leave one behind.
No, which that means depending on what your output is or what you're doing, you either are going to throw your entire army at it until it dies, and maybe you kill it early, or maybe it takes everything, or maybe you still don't get it done, or you're just going to have to ignore them because I can't afford to throw everything at this. You have these other things that matter more right now.
It makes it very difficult too, because let's say you have like 4 or 5 models left in the unit, and usually I would split fire. But I'm going to be like, no, I know it's overkill, but everything's going at that unit, so it just doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Because let's say you have warriors, and let's say you have 5 models left, plus a leader, whatever. So 5 leaders, 5 plus a leader. That's your command phase, right?
Yep.
Because I'm shooting, so it'd be your command phase next. That's 2d3 plus 3, right?
If I'm on an objective. If not, it's a D6 plus a D3. But
D6 plus D3.
They want to sit on objectives. So.
Exactly. So let's say D6 plus D3 twice. So that's 2D6, 2D3. So on average, that's 4, 4, 2, 2. That's what?
Well, it's 7.
12.
It's 7. It's about 11.
11.
Yes. If we go the averages right down the middle, you're looking at around 11 or so.
Yep.
And said that's on average. And we're going to see later. There's a model that gets you that you're allowed to re-roll the result. So. That's why this model is so useful. At 95, you can easily fit in 1. Honestly, don't leave home without it. 12-inch bubble really covers a lot. And
how big is the base? 40 or 60? Don't tell me it's 50.
I want to say it's a 60. It might be a 50, but it's probably a 60.
I'll look it up on
It's a sizable base. It's not huge, but it's one of the rounds.
If it's 60 or 50, if it's 40, I'm gonna be like,
no, it's not 40. It's not a 40.
Okay.
I believe it's 60.
I'll check it. Let me see here.
Mine is, I think, in my car actually.
Necron. Thankfully, GW
List the
puts
base sizes.
base sizes. Yep.
While you're doing that, so weapon-wise, it does have a 12-inch gun, 3 attacks on 4, strength 6, AP -2, 1 damage, and it can fight in melee very poorly at on 4, strength 5, 1 damage for 4 attacks. You're shooting the beam if something gets close enough and you have the shots, why not? But you're taking this thing for its utility. A 12-inch bubble is huge. If you're playing long ways, if you want to fit in 2, I could see it, because now you are essentially covering the board. Not perfectly, but you're covering probably everywhere your models are.
It's not the Canoptek Doomstalker, is it?
No, it's the Reanimator.
So, fun fact, it doesn't have a
They don't list
its
the base
own
size?
separate kit. No, it doesn't have its own separate kit.
Oh, because it came in... There's a few different spots it's in. One of them is like the...
You either get it in the box,
yes.
or you can buy the Necron Royal Court, which is out of stock.
If you click on the Royal Court, it should tell you the base sizes in there.
That's 260s, so it has to be that.
So he's on a 60, because the Lord is on a 60.
That's actually fantastic then for a 12-inch or on a 60.
Oh, and I forgot his ranged attack. He does have 2 of them. He does have 2 of the guns, so he actually gets 6 attacks. Yes. If someone's in a shot where you can shoot them, AP -2 with 1 damage, you will get some wounds through.
Yeah, that's actually 6. Yeah, it's actually not bad shooting.
No,
it hits on 4s, but honestly, that's still 3 shots.
Canoptek units are usually always 4s.
Yeah, so I was gonna say still hit on 4s, but wounding probably on 3s with AP -2. That's gonna hit the envelope of Terminator.
Yeah,
and that's honestly how you kill those overpriced units. Aha, you're doing 4+ is a 50-50, and I'm cheaper than you.
Yeah. Again, you're probably going to try to hide this guy as best you can. He's not very big. He's actually reasonably small. Hide him as best you can. You don't want people seeing him and shooting him, so that way he lives, because he's going to add so much to your army. Because keep in mind, individual models are units as well. So like your Satans, an extra D3 on your Satans, that could be healing up 2 D3. You could get back most of the wounds you lost. So these guys are absolutely clutch.
Here's a stupid question.
Okay.
I didn't even realize he had Feel No Pain 4 up. Jesus.
Yes.
So he's actually durable.
Reasonably so,
question, though. You don't need a line of sight for this, do you?
No, you don't.
So literally, you could just hide him behind a building.
Yes, you can hide him as best you can. What you're going to run into issue-wise is as you start moving up, he'll be out of range, so he might have to start following. But no, you don't need a line of sight.
Tall is he? Well, okay, so now I wanted to know how tall he was. Does he pass the first floor of a building?
How tall is the first floor of a building?
That's what I'm thinking of. LVO. Damn it!
I wanted to see if you could. I believe he's taller.
Okay,
he has some height. He's got some decent height.
Okay, because I was going to say maybe
he's nowhere near Doomstalker, but he's got height to him.
Okay, because I was saying maybe you could just hide him inside the building, because all LVO plays is
first
no windows, first floor.
Windows. No, he's taller than that, because he's at least he's at least 2 infantry tall, and that's going to go over the first floor.
So you stick him in the corner of a building and watch as you just reanimate the middle of the board.
Yeah. But you can definitely, because the way GW said you should play terrain, you can pop him behind some terrain that they realistically won't be able to see for about a turn or 2. Then, when they have more pressing concerns, push him forward.
Although you want to laugh at something, slight side note, as I'm looking at the Necrons on Games Workshop.
Yeah.
The page for Necron, right, features 1, 2, 3 Forge World models in the picture.
Nice.
It has the weird.
They're all sold out, but nice.
The Forge World stuff, like the
a lot of the stuff is sold out currently.
Oh, okay, yeah, but I don't think you guys have that weird bomber in plastic. I think that's the Forge World one.
Yeah, the one with the extras. That's a Forge World one.
And then you have the weird ball, the floating ball of doom.
Yes.
And then you have the Canoptek Tombstone. There's 3 Forge World. Oh, that's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, they show some of the Forge World ones, which is good.
I like that. Anyway, just a little side note that I kind of liked.
Listen, this guy's good. You're going to take at least 1. If you have more than 1, I wouldn't fault you for wanting to throw 2 in there. I would caution trying to make sure everything survives forever and then you don't have anything to fight with. But I think for 200 points, you could probably afford it if you really want. All right. Talk about 6-gun Hexmark here.
Oh, he's cool. I'll take him. Yeah. Hexmark Destroyer, 7-inch move. Oh, he's a little faster because he's got spider legs.
Yep.
Toughness 5, wounds 5, 3 up save, OC 1, leadership 6. Should be low. Yep, lone operative.
Mhm.
Um,
70 points.
70, kind of cheap actually.
Yes.
Inescapable death. Once per
Mhm.
turn, one unit from your army with this ability, so him, can be targeted with the fire overwatch strategy for 0 CP, even if you've already used that strategy on a different unit this phase. In addition, each time you target this unit with a fire overwatch stratagem, while resolving the stratagem, all hits are scored on an unmodified hit roll of 2.
Yeah.
Ooh,
He
so you
overwatches
ignore-
on 2s. And notice anytime you fire Overwatch, he hits on 2s.
So stupid question. Does that mean like let's have -1 to hit? His overwatch is better than his shooting? Does he? I mean, multi-threat eliminator.
Yes.
Each time an enemy unit targets a friendly Necron unit within 3 inches of the metal with ranged attacks, after the enemy unit has shot, this model can shoot as if it was your shooting phase.
Yeah.
You could shoot. Okay.
So anytime you shoot a unit near him, he gets the fire at and pay special attention to this. So it says, okay, within 3, this model
Yeah.
can shoot as your shooting phase. Doesn't say you target the model that shot you.
No, this is the very much like the heresy,
Yes.
heresy advanced reaction. I remember
Yes.
this.
Yeah,
Sons of Horus,
he
I
can
think.
just fire at whatever he wants
The hell he
with an
wants.
18. Because there's also an overrule that he has to be able to reach that unit. They don't have to be a valid target to him. You just have to shoot someone near him. Yep.
So let's look at his range weapons because
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ignore his close combat for obvious reasons. Close combat is he strength 5, damage 1. It's on 3. It's 4 attacks.
Yeah.
So he's got 6 pistols. So hopefully, yep. So range 18. They're pistol and precision. 6 attacks, 2 to hit, strength 6, AP 2, damage 1.
What don't you like about that? This guy's great. He's 70 points. Yeah, I'm not going to shoot him at a tank. For 70 points, they weren't going to give him
It's
a gun that's
the
going to take down a tank.
damage 1. Ironic. You know what? No. I'm fine with the damage 1 because he's not shooting at Space Marines. Or maybe he is shooting at Space Marines.
I'm fine shooting Space Marines. I'd love to.
Yeah.
At strength 6 on AP -2.
It's the AP -2. I got to go back to the AP. It's the AP -2.
And like I said, the biggest thing for him is if he is near a unit and lone operative, if I'm outside 12, you're not allowed to shoot him, and you shoot that unit, a 3-inch bubble is a reasonable size, then I get to shoot something. I don't have to shoot the big heavy thing. You have something else within 12,
And it's
within
funny,
18.
it's
I shoot there.
each time an enemy unit targets.
Yes.
So you could just
You
just
put him near your warrior blob, and if you want to shoot my warrior blob, I will keep firing every single time.
that's pretty great actually.
Yep.
All the revolvers just start firing.
And if you decide to charge my warrior blob, I'm close. I'll inescapable death, 0 CP, overwatch you, and then someone else may use it because this one specifically says someone else may. So I'll use that on a different model as well. So no, this guy honestly, he's
Neat.
very, very good.
It's 70 points. I might.
Yeah, 70 points.
I like him a lot.
I've seen people model him with a small sombrero because he's like a 6-gun shooter. I like that.
God damn it.
I might print some small sombreros. I have to. I'm probably going to kit bash one of these guys because I got some spare.
Is he a character?
Him? No.
No,
shouldn't be.
he is.
Oh, he's a character. Oh, we missed him the other day. Then that's fine.
So that. No. Okay.
Why would
So
it
as a-
matter to you if he's a character or not?
Only because the
He can
tactical
come-
secondary assassination, he's not like if I can get close to him or try to shoot him.
If you
right?
take assassination, my units are so full of characters. You'll have the
No,
shot.
no, no.
out
I
if
mean
you
the
want.
secondary assassin, like tactical, not fixed.
Oh,
He'd be like, yeah, he'd be. I think assassination is 3 or 4 points per.
what does assassination say exactly? Can you pull it up?
Each? It's just actually. Hold on.
Because this matters.
I have the.
And we missed the other day. He was a character. When we did characters, we should have put him there. I forgot this guy was a character.
I didn't even know he was. I just realized because I was looking at him. I guess it'd be under the rulebook, right? No. Let me mute myself real quick.
Yeah, take a look for your
while I look.
secondaries.
Yeah.
The reason I was asking what I was looking for was our Eternal Guardian. We do count as destroyed, but then we come back. So depending on assassination, if it's destroyed models at the end, or if it says anytime, even if they were removed and put back, is the big thing. Because there is some of those cases where they're put back. Yeah, if anyone's
God
keeping
damn it!
track of the
It's
way we
the
do
app.
this,
The app is what has it. So I have to like create a fake game.
create a fake game.
Uh, that's what I'm doing right now. 10th
Oh,
edition.
there
Who
we go.
cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Jesus Christ, who cares?
Yeah,
Tactical, who cares?
yeah.
There we go. Select mission,
All right.
assassination.
So while I talks about the other key feature, this guy also has deep strike. So if you want to be cagey with where you put him, you can even do that. So he's for 70 points, he has tons and tons of utility. Completely missed that he was a character, but I think he's great. I have some Skorpekh Destroyers, so I am gonna try to kit bash at least one or maybe two of these guys together. I've seen some other people do it.
Right? It's weirdly enough less and more than I thought. I thought it was 2 to 3 points per assassination kill.
No.
It's 5, but it's 1+.
Okay. What does it actually say?
It
Anytime when the character is destroyed?
no, it's just if you killed an enemy character, 5 points. You score the secondary.
Okay.
Are you talking about the fixed or the tactical?
No, what I'm talking about is because some of them say anytime someone is destroyed and if they're brought back.
Oh yeah, no.
This
This is just if you kill a character this round, 5 points.
Okay, yeah.
If all
So
enemy
res.
characters are destroyed, 5 points. That way you get the points, even though.
Got it.
So it doesn't penalize you for not killing more or anything. So
Okay.
you get the 5 points. So
Even there.
you get more points than I thought, but once.
But even that, okay, you happen to pull that secondary. You happen to get the points from that. If you're going against Necrons, you might just take the fixed of that anyway, and you have it. Like that's just going to be a thing. I have to be able to plan to play my game the way I need.
Exactly. No, it's good. I like them a lot. The character part threw me off, but honestly, I like them.
Yeah. No, these guys are very, very good. Yeah,
I'm going to go pick up my food at my door real quick while you do the Lychguard.
Okay. So we are looking at Lychguard. I will put my little timestamp. There we go. So for Lychguard, I got to pull up their points because I have it here, but I have so many different things going. So 5 models for 95, 10 models for 190. This is your close combat unit, one of them. You can take them as more survivable or more damaging. They're 5 move, of course, toughness 5, 3 up save. They're 2 wounds each, so that helps quite a bit. Leadership 7, 1 objective. They have Guardian Protocols. When a noble model is leading this unit, you get -1 on the wound rolls versus the unit. You're going to put a noble model in here, either Lord or Overlord, depending on exactly what you want them to be able to do. Overlord is probably the better option here. The reason I say that is the Overlord lets you 0 CP a stratagem. So you could 0 CP if someone is close enough to you, and you could heroically intervene. And you get -1 when they try to wound you. On toughness 5 with -1, that's a pretty good break point there. You can take these guys with Hyperfade swords and shields, dispersion shields. If you do, they have a 4-up invul. Otherwise, they have a War Scythe. For the War Scythe, real fast, it's 2 attacks on 3s. But remember, they're going to be led. So on 2s. Strength 8, AP -3, 2 damage. So that's a little bit more of maybe like, say, your Terminator killer or heavier Marine killer. You have your Hyperphase swords, which gets 3 attacks. Again, weapon skill 3, but you're probably going to be hit on 2s. Strength 6, AP -2, 1 damage. I prefer these guys sword and board because the invul save is very strong. -1 to wound. So -1 to wound, 2 wounds a guy with an invul save. I will have a res orb because I have an Overlord in there. I'm getting multiple of these models back. You could even put in a very popular option, I kind of mentioned it last time, is putting in Cryptex. You could choose which one, but you also want to put in the Crypt Thralls, because the Crypt Thralls get feel no pain themselves, so that adds survivability. Remember, in case you didn't listen to our last episode, Crypt Thralls say you have to go into a unit that has a Cryptek, but when you go in, you become part of that unit. Since you're part of the bodyguard unit, that means your Crypt Thralls can be destroyed, and when you res, you can bring them back, because they count as just part of the bodyguard. That means the reverse as well, but you're probably going to take down the Crypt Thralls first, because then you're not losing any of your power, and you're getting extra saves on all this stuff, because you have Feel No Pain, something that you wouldn't have had before. For the Cryptek themselves, Plasmancer's no good. Psychomancer's not going to really do them any good either, because that one is related to leadership checks. So
Chronomancer might be good.
I'm looking at him. Technomancer, feel no pain on a 5-up. That can do a lot if you're going for survivability.
Actually,
4-up, feel no pain with a 5-up. 4-up invul, 5-up, feel no pain, and you have multiple units with a 4-up
and -1 to wound.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
These guys are as tough or tougher to shift than your warrior blocks when you kit them out correctly, and they can fight in close combat. I've absolutely read reports and people have said like, oh, I threw this into, Angron. Here's a big kill unit. Took him out the first time. He came back and took me the second time, but taking out or staying stuck in half of the game with big units because of how survivable they can get. So Warscythe isn't a bad option, but output of damage, we have other good spots for output. I think you play these guys for more of the survivability. I'd rather them stick around more. So I want the 4-up invul save. A 3-up save is nice, but if people are putting you at -2, -3, you're not really getting much of a save there.
Exactly. No, this is a thick unit. Jesus.
Yes.
32 mil base?
Yeah, 32.
40.
32.
Oh, yeah, so you could really... Oh, because they're very maneuverable, too.
Yes. No, these guys are quite good. They do a lot of good. I think I only have 5 right now. I have another 5 that I'm painting up. So the big thing is painting them up. This is an army that certain units might want to go MSU, but these aren't one of them because you want to be able to get your rules and your survivability, and you're only getting that if you got a lot of bodies. You don't want to throw all those upgrade characters and all that extra on there if you only got like essentially 5 spare bodies for them.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, get them to the 20 wounds by having a full 10 pack. Get the Reanimator nearby. People aren't going through them unless they have really dedicated attacks.
Honestly, I'm even fearful of charging my custodian. How many is 10 of them?
They are... I had it before. Lychguard. 10 of them is 190. They're 19 points a guy.
That's really cheap. Jesus.
Yeah. Part of our cost, I truly do believe, is because they know leaders are going in. Characters are going in.
Yeah, so
the units need to be a little cheaper. Yeah, you're taxed at all points. Yeah. But the tax is good here. That -1 to wound is really going to make a difference. At toughness 5 with -1 to wound, a lot of the infantry type things you're going to go against are going to be wounding on 4s. Maybe worse, but a lot of them on 4s because they need to be at least strength 10 before they'll wound you on 3s.
Yeah.
And if they're going at you with strength 10, the damage profile is already probably big enough. So
exactly.
All right, we are on to Deathmarks, which are reasonably fine. Just points wise, 5 for 65, 10 for 130.
All right, let's see what they got. So move 5, toughness 5, 3-up save, 1 wound, leadership 7, OC 1. They do have deep strike. Yay. Mm-hmm. Hyperspace Hunters. Oh, that's so cool. Once per turn in the reinforcement step of your opponent's movement phase, when an enemy unit is set up on the battlefield from reserve within 18 inches and visible to this unit, and this unit can shoot it as if it was your shooting phase, but must only target that unit when doing so, and can only do so if that enemy unit is an eligible target. Okay, so it's they have a fancy Overwatch that's not Overwatch.
Yes, because they hit on their normal ballista skill.
If you play the Mechanicus game, which is you should, it's an amazing game. They do this in the game, and it's barely annoying.
Oh yeah,
it's really, really annoying when they do this. So, who cares about close combat? Range weapons. They have 36-inch range. It is heavy. It is precision. Oh, and heavy means now that it's +1 if you don't
+1
move,
if you
right?
don't move.
Okay, so heavy, precision. Precision is going to be so good for them. Hits on a 3, basically a 2 if you don't move. Strength 5, AP 2, 2 damage. Ooh. That's one shot, though.
Yeah.
They're snipers. They're snipers.
Yes. They're not bad. They're reasonably good. They're kind of in a weird mid-range, though, because their rule is nice, but if your opponent doesn't do reserves, or within 18, it doesn't really do much. They used to have ways to be able to pot themselves down onto the board. We still have some because there's some stratagems that do that. But there's some timing related to that as well. So you'd have to watch a little bit of the timing. But, I mean, their close combat is bad. So they're good, not great. If you got a unit of them, they'll be fun. You'd want to put them in a good spot. I just think if your opponent knows they're going to drop tons of stuff in and they're worried about these guys, toughness 5 on a 3-up save with 1 wound, you can take down. So overall, I like them. I think I have like 5.
Yeah, if they're dedicated, I kind of wish. I know this is like too much, maybe. I kind of wish they had stealth a little bit.
I wish they
I
had
think it would
something for survivability. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to be in cover, so they'll have a 2-up save, which is already nice, but.
Remember, cover cannot take a 3-up to a 2-up.
That's right.
Yep. So they're essentially probably most likely on 3-up saves, but I just think it might be a little expensive for a 10-man unit. And I don't know if a 5-man unit with 5 dice, even on 2s, let's say you didn't move, but strength 5, I don't know if the 5-man unit's going to get enough done for what they're there for.
Counterpoint.
Okay.
65 points, very easy to spend. Sometimes you have 65 to 85 points left over on a list. Throw them in, start shooting characters. They will start shooting these guys, so they will eat firepower.
True, if you happen to get in range with the characters, because you're essentially, your freebie shots are 18 inches, but your gun is 36. So if their characters are visible, you can try to pop down their characters. They don't have any rules that they want someone with them, so they are fine on their own. One, they can't be led anyway, but they work well on their own. Like, this is a unit where you don't care if you get that Subternal crown near them. Not Subternal crown. What's the name of the crown? Subternal weave. It's Sovereign Coronal. You don't care the Sovereign Coronal's near them because you're already going to be on 2s. They're not getting supported by anyone else anyway, so you don't really care about any other supports. They're kind of good on their own. I like them. I'm not overly in love with them, but I do think they are fun.
They're fun.
Yeah.
They may not be like hyper competitive top 3 table Necron winner.
No. If it's a competitive list, you're not going to see these guys.
But they're not shit.
No, and I think you do go with. I don't always care about going full squads, but I think this one you want to because you just need the extra firepower. 5 shots won't do much.
I can't put my finger on it though. There seems to be a theme here. It's so weird.
But it's not even for the survivability. It's not because of reanimation. It's because 5 guys with these 2 damage weapons. Maybe I can hurt your character with 5. Maybe. But 10, now there's someone that you are now not going to deep strike near. Because if I had 10 of these guys, you show up and I can hit them, I'm actually taking models down.
Yep, especially if I have a leader in there.
Yeah. All right. We go from the pretty good to the not
you told
good.
me there was shit. All right, let's see.
Yeah.
You literally told me there was shit. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So, for Flayed Ones. And it's a shame because so at one point when they used to do the magazine, Barnes & Noble stocked them at times. So you could potentially go in and get the magazine, the Warhammer magazine, where they had models. Necrons was one of the early ones that did. Necron Space Marines, then it kind of branched into other models and units. I drove around to like 3 or 4 different Barnes & Nobles to get 5 magazines. So I got 25 of these guys. I got them for the price of like 7 of the models, maybe even less. And then since then I got another one. So I actually have 30. And at one point, so let's go through points cost. 70 points for 5, 140 for 10. Cool. Move 5, toughness 4, 4-up save. They got 1 wound. These guys do have stealth as well as infiltrators, so their save's not as good, but they have a little bit extra survivability there. They have flesh hunger. Each time you make a melee attack that targets a unit that's below half strength, all successful hits are criticals. These guys do have sustained hits 1. They're 4 attacks base. Their weapons are twin linked. So twin linked is re-rolling wounds. They hit on 3s. These guys cannot be led, so they're probably on 3s unless you have the crown near you. Strength 4, AP -1, 1 damage. So here's the problems with them. 1, they used to be squads of 20.
Are they only 10? No.
They're 10. Infiltrators, cool. You can get reasonably close. Stealth, a little bit harder to hurt and shooting. Cool. At a squad of 10 on a 4-up save, even if you're -1, and if you get into close combat, no longer -1, I'm toughness 4, they're too easy to destroy.
Yeah.
And their attacks, okay, sustained hits 1 is nice. And if you're very well injured, sustained hits is useful because all my attacks that hit will get me sustained hits. So every success will be 2 successes. That's a lot of hits. But I'm only hitting you on 3s. I'm only strength 4. And we lost a lot of abilities to get higher strength. So we do have our one stratagem that counts you as +1 strength. Cool. But they can't be led. So most likely they're not getting the extra AP unless the crown is near them. Back when we used to take dynasties, you could make it where on the charge you were +1 strength. You could make it where certain dice made -1 AP. You could get a lot of extra effects. And then on top of that, you had stratagems to do even more. These guys never were necessarily strong on their own, but you used to be able to put enough stuff into them just through your choices in game to get them to a point where they could do a lot. And they were 20-man squad. A 10-man squad, if you're going against a very light target, yeah, they'll do nice. If they're really injured, yeah, you'll do well. But infiltrate doesn't help you early in the game if I need to pop down on the board and you can shoot them down easily, which you could. Flesh hunger doesn't help until you're very injured. But I'm already 9-12 inches from you, wherever I am. I'm somewhat close to you. How long am I going to try to hold out and survive until I charge in? Because my bonus doesn't happen until you've been injured a lot. And that's probably not turn 1. That might not be turn 2. I don't have enough models to survive. Am I going to go try to hide behind the terrain, I guess? But then I'm not really getting their point out. This is an infiltrate unit. We don't have a lot of those. So maybe to go sit on an objective early, that's what I used them for last time. I actually went with, I think, a 5-man squad and a 10-man squad. My 5-man squad went to sit on objective, score me some points, and now you at least have to take them down. I wouldn't say they're not garbage or anything like that, but they're so lackluster compared to what they were that, I'm glad I didn't try to procure any more because I can only run 30 max anyway, and I have that.
I feel bad for people who have 60 because it used to be, the rule of 3, right?
Yep.
Max squad 20, 60 warrior, 60 Flayed Ones.
Now, let's be honest. Unless you were converting yourself, people didn't have that. Because price alone, you wouldn't do that. Price alone was insane. That's why I got them through the magazine. It's the only reason I have those all. If it wasn't because of that, I wouldn't own these guys. It's just a shame because I really liked running a giant block last time because they did a lot of cool things and they were fun. And a 10 block is more wieldy because all their claws stick out really far and they latch onto each other constantly. But they're just not going to do nearly as much. You're going to be underwhelmed by what they can do. It's kind of a shame.
It is. I'll agree. It is. I thought they would be a little bit cooler.
Yeah, they used to be. Now, these guys right now our only detachment we have means, hey, you got a character +1 to hit. When our book comes out, we're one of the earlier books, maybe a new detachment will really play into these guys.
And there is a Necron dynasty that is literally Flayed Ones and crazy people.
Yes. And so we had stuff like that in the previous book. It helped. So we don't know what we're going to get. We might get something that really makes these guys shine. But currently where we are at index 40k, I still sometimes take a squad because I got them and I like them. But if I was actually trying to compete, I wouldn't take these guys. All right. We did Crypt Thralls.
Yeah, I'm going to skip them. Let's see.
Yes, because we did do those.
Hey, these guys I love.
Not nearly as good as they used to be.
Fucking Christ.
They're not. It's not that they're bad, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but
true.
What they have, they feel they've lost a bit. And part of it is because in 40k, one of the biggest things they've done is collapse profiles. If you look at these guys, there's guys with a weapon in each arm and a guy with a weapon together in 2 arms, because that weapon used to be a different weapon, and it was much stronger. You could take 1 per 3, but it was a stronger weapon. That's no longer the thing.
Oh, man.
So I'll give you the point.
By the way, it's the same thing they did to Grey Knights. I was talking about
they did with everyone.
No, but no, it hit Grey Knights bad.
It did.
So I don't know if you. Oh yeah, you were there for that game
when
I was playing the Grey Knights, and I'm like, wait, hit me with your Thunderhammer, and he goes, what? You have Thunderhammers, you have Nemesis blades, you have staves. And he goes, no, they're just all weapons now. I'm like, what the no. Goes, yeah, and he showed me the card. It's just literally one melee weapon. I'm like,
Yep.
that is fucking shameful. Anyway, Skorpekh Destroyers, movement 7, toughness 6, a little beefy. So 3 up save, 3 wounds, leadership 7, 2 OC.
Yep.
Probably taking 3 or 6, probably. Let's see.
Yeah, 3 to 6.
Yep, 3 or
3
6,
of them
yep.
is 110, 6 of them is 220.
Got it. So they have Whirling Onslaught. Each enemy model in this unit makes a melee attack. You can ignore any or all modifiers to that attack's weapon skill characteristic or attack hit roll. Oh, so like...
You always hit on 3s or if you're led by, or 2s.
Yep.
You stop talking.
I'm just checking something. I'm just reading something. And the attack. Good. Okay. So you can't reduce the attack either. No, that's good. It's like it's basically what Trajan does. A little bit less because Trajan doesn't let you modify strength, but
yes.
Other than, or AP.
Yeah. It does a few things. Careful with that slurping.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I forgot that I've been muting myself pretty good, but.
Yeah. No, I understand, man.
Yeah. So Plasma Sight. Once per battle, for each Plasma Sight this unit has. What the fuck is a Plasma Sight?
For every 3 models, you can take a Plasma Sight. It's a very tiny model that came with them. It almost looks like an unrolled pill bug. But it's a little model they used to take.
God damn it. Hold on. Let me just go on Games Workshop real quick.
Okay.
Oh, it's cute.
Yes, that's a Plasma Sight. So a 6-man unit can take 2 of them.
Okay. It's actually adorable.
Yeah. No, it's very cute.
Back to this. Once per battle, for each plus fight this unit has, when this unit is selected to fight, you can use this ability. If you do, until the end of the phase, melee weapons equipped with this model have the Devastating Wounds ability.
So if you have a 6-man unit, you can take 2 Plasma Sights, so you can do it twice.
Yeah, twice. How many points were they?
They're 220 for 6 of them, so 110 for 3.
Wait. Oh, I thought you said 220 for 3. I'm like, what?
No. The full 6-pack is 220. We'll go over their weapon, and then we'll kind of...
Yeah. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 7, AP 2, damage 2. Oh, it's the strength 7.
Yeah, the strength 7 is in that weird spot because you're not at that double out marine point. Your Plasma Sight getting you 2 times of Devastating Wounds is nice. Devastating Wounds is very nice. But, on the number of attacks you need to hit first, you'll get some, but not necessarily tons. It's a nice bonus to have. Strength 7 is not too great. The weapon skill 3 kind of hurts, but if you're led by Skorpekh Lord, but now you got to throw Skorpekh Lord in there as well. I tend to. But the Skorpekh Lord doesn't do much in the way of buffing them. He doesn't do like lethal hits or anything too nuts. He doesn't give you a whole lot of extras. He gives you some mortal wounds. He does some mortal wounds on the way in, but he's not doing like tons and tons of other things.
Honestly, I wish the pistol guy could join them. I know he's lone operative. I really wish the pistol guy could join him, because that's who I would bring with the pistol guy. He starts shooting. Oh, you want to charge? Well, here are some big dudes.
Oh, my apologies. I said exactly backwards. When they are with hof they get lethal hits. That's what he does. I'm like, he does lethal hits. No, that's what he does. He gives them lethal hits. All of that is good. It just, compared to what they were before, they are not what they used to be. Part of it is because we used to have all these dynasties, so you took the right dynasty, their AP was even better, they had a weapon that every 3 they get more. Plasma Sights used to roll, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I know it was on a 1 destroy model, but on a 2-up, they got something. I forget exactly what it was, but I know they got a very good effect on a 2-up in 9th. I just, for the life of me, don't remember what it is, and I can't pull up Battlescribe right now because I'm sharing my screen. I might be able to actually pull it up on my phone. But they used to do more. I'm still going to run them. 1, I do all of this more for fun. So I don't want to take it.
As people should.
Well, okay. But at the same point, you're trying to tout to people how many wins your list has, which means you're not playing for fun. If you're going to sit and talk about your number of wins, that's not for fun.
Hold on. To be fair, the 2 are very different.
I don't track my wins. Don't care.
The app does it for you. I can't, because I should point out the app, because you'll see it in the battle report. The app, I'm going to recommend something, because you probably have heard us before on the podcast talk about this. We're not sponsored by them, by the way.
No, nope.
But they're
welcome to, but no, we're not.
The app is called Tabletop Battles, and it essentially tracks not only your games, but it tracks like the round, what secondaries. You can randomize the secondaries, so you don't even need the cards. You can randomize the deployment, the mission
Don't
rules.
cyber table.
Oh, sorry, and it tracks all that. So that's how I know I have so many wins, is because I use the app whenever I'm playing, and then the app tracks everything for me. So that's little side note. People think I have like a pencil and paper. I'm like, haha, I've won. No, it's literally the app just does this for you while also playing the game.
Yeah. Did I not put any plasma?
I just realized I kind of sounded like a win fanatic, and it's literally no, it's part of the app. Also, fun fact, I didn't realize this. The app also reminds you to take pictures of your game.
That part I like. That part would be nice because I don't.
It gives you reminders before you go to the next turn. It goes, take pictures.
I do really like that. I do think that's a good feature.
The app is really, really cool. It is really cool. Now, again, it's the 100% win rate is separate from the app, but it's just
yeah. So what Plasma Set used to do, he used to be a separate unit. You could bring him in close and stuff like that. Once a turn on a 1, you destroy it. Otherwise, you would add 1 to the strength and attacks characteristics of all the models. They were attacks 3.
That's better.
Yeah, they were attacks 3, but then you could get to attacks 4 and you're charging, all those sort of things. And their weapons used to be -3 2 and -4 3. Strength wasn't quite as much in general.
Yeah.
This strength profile is a little better than the average that they had, but there was ways to up the strength as well. And for the lesser weapons, they got an extra attack, so they were base 4 with him 5 attacks. So they were better in general.
Yeah. Cheaper?
I didn't,
because you don't really want a leader with them.
No, I want a Skorpekh Lord with them to give them lethal hits.
Oh, that's true. But then you don't get devastating. But the devastating.
They were cheaper before. A 6-pack was 180.
Oof. Yeah. I think. Listen, at 6 for 180 or 3 for 90. Now we're talking. I would not mind these guys being 90 or 180.
Yeah, they might just be a little over. Again, they're not bad. I'm still going to take them because I enjoy them.
One of these is understandable.
Yeah. I will say reanimation is better for them now, though, because old reanimation, since they're 3 wounds, if you couldn't bring back a full 3 wounds, you got nothing. Now, at least, if I happen to roll, if I'm missing a guy and I roll my D3, I immediately get a guy back no matter what.
Yeah.
So that part is nicer.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all right.
They're better than the Flayed Ones.
Yes, they are better than Flayed Ones. They're going to do a better job than Flayed Ones, I think, in general. They're just not as exciting as they used to be.
Yeah.
That is why I'm going to be making some Hexmark Destroyers from the spare bodies I have. Because from all the kits I have, I got, I don't know, like another 6 I could do. And the blades take me forever to do. I don't want to do that many of them. All right. Now we start getting into some of the models that I just don't own.
Are these the big boy?
Yeah, the Triach Stalker.
Yep.
All right. So for the Triarch Stalker, he was pretty lackluster before. He's 125 now. I think he's better now. He's moved 9, toughness 8. He has a 3-up armor but 4-up invul. They no longer get some of the quantum shielding type stuff they used to, so that's why they just give him Phallic invuls.
Damn it!
But it goes in because they have the invul saves. 12 wounds.
Okay. They didn't have invul saves before.
I think I don't know about him personally. Some of the models did, but usually was a little bit lesser. He's leadership 7 on 4 objectives. He's deadly demise D3. He has a targeting relay. So in your shooting phase, each time this model is selected to shoot, after resolving the attacks, you select an enemy that was hit by 1 or more of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, they cannot get cover. So you essentially are removing cover from a unit. You just have to hit. They don't actually have to be wounded. So you go at a unit that you really need to make sure that happens at.
Yeah, but cover... Okay, so side note. But cover only works... It doesn't get you better than a 3+. So it's like...
Yeah, cover can't get you better than a 3+. It's useful if they're in cover because for your lighter things, now your lighter things can get into them. It's not utterly amazing. He was the same points before.
You do have some -1s. So that would actually then help because now the -1 is actually a -1 rather than, it washing with the cover.
Yeah. Quantum shielding used to be a 5-up invul and essentially transhuman. That's what quantum shielding did.
Okay.
Same amount of wounds actually. Toughness doesn't matter because toughnesses are all very different now in the game.
Exactly.
His target relay used to be reroll ones to hit for people. For his weapons, so he comes with a heat ray, and his limbs he can replace it for a particle shredder or twin heavy Gauss cannon. His melee, it's 4 attacks on 3s, strength 7, AP -1, but 3 damage. So decent because he's big. His heat ray is either dispersed or focused. If it's dispersed, it naturally ignores cover and is torrent. So if you want to get this on people, you can just auto hit. 2d6 shots, strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage. If you focus, it's melt to 4. So remember, in half range, which would be 9 inches, it's +4 to the damage. 2 shots on 3, strength 9, AP -4, d6 or d6 +4 if you're close. You can put a particle shredder on him. Gives you blast and devastating wounds. 18 inches. 6 plus d6 shots. On 2s, strength 7, 1 damage. But the devastating wounds helps that a bit. Not amazing, but helps. Twin heavy Gauss cannon is lethal hits and twin linked. So automatically 6s the hit will wound. And you get to reroll your wounds. The thing is only 3 attacks. It is on 3s, strength 8, AP -2, 2 damage. But I'm not so worried about lethal hits on a 2 damage attack.
I was going to say, it's not even like 2 of them. It's
Yeah, and it
one.
only gives me 3 shots.
Yeah, I thought it'd be like 2, so it's 6 shots. I'd be like, oh, it makes sense.
No, it's 1 twin link of this. I think you keep the heat ray on him. I especially like the Melta if someone gets close. And I like the dispersed if you have lighter units, because if you notice, we don't really have a lot of flamethrower units or torrent type weapons. So this gives you a lot of those autos. Removing cover, choose the unit that really matters for the cover. Make it easier for the rest of your
Here's
models.
the funny part. If you take the heat ray, you automatically do targeting relay because the heat ray doesn't roll to hit.
Exactly. Yeah, if it matters to you, you can absolutely do that. Now I've removed your cover because you might be a model that has stealth and this and a bunch of things, and I at least remove one spot. Because remember, if you don't have cover, that can make a difference. It's not the end of the world, but it absolutely makes a difference.
Hell, you don't have cover. Those immortal guns that were -1.
Yeah.
Right? That's a scary. Those now have become scary. Because now the -1 is an actual -1.
Yeah. He's another thing that's not auto-include, and that's fine. You don't want auto-includes. I like him. Not in love with him, but I also don't own it. If I owned it, I would test it out more. Maybe it'll perform better if I was actually trying it out. But just on the look, it's okay, but nothing to write home about.
I was going to say, you have anti-tank already anyway, so...
Anti-tank is not our problem in general for what I have. But I still do like the heat ray because it can serve that dual purpose. Our other anti-tank doesn't.
Yeah.
So I like him that way.
Side note, I don't like the model.
I like it. I think he's cool.
I always kind of... Controversial opinion.
Okay.
I hate the goofy command barge looking dude on the top. I like the fact, like, if you were to remove that dude on the top and it's just like this big construct, this weird construct with a spinal cord in the back, okay, now we're talking. The moment they add that stupid dude on the top, I'm just like, automatically, I hate it.
No, I get that. I do. Overall, I like it, but
does your fucking hold on?
The Doomstalkers do not have people now.
Do not, but yeah. Oh yeah, you don't have another 4-legged stalker, I think. Anyway.
No.
Oh, the Necron Seraptic, the Forge Orbital. He doesn't have someone riding him, right?
No, there's no one on that thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, can you model it without him? Hold on. Let me just
It's a seat. You absolutely could, but my guess
it would look weird.
My guess is his legs might be part of the seat. I don't know for sure.
That'll be different. If it's modeled exactly like I think it is, it'll be probably different. And actually, looking at this,
it's an open command center though, so I want to put something.
You don't
there.
glue the command center, and funny enough, you cut the back of the seat, and you leave the spinal cord alone, cut the back of the seat, and he's gone.
I don't know if you need to do all that. I don't mind him. It's fine.
It's so goofy.
It's their own form.
I don't
of
mind
Baby
goofy,
Bjorn.
but that to me is always goof. All right. Oh wow, we already got to the Catans already.
I removed half those things, so maybe I don't know. There's a lot of stuff after Catans. Realize that.
Yeah.
Or
Triarch?
Catans, not Catans. Catans.
It's Catan.
It's
Catan.
We ain't trying to make settlements here. Satan.
So Canoptek is going to be the next one then.
Yeah.
The Canoptek Spiders.
Yep, we are onto the spiders.
Oh, we're zooming through this. So
You say
Canoptek
that.
Spiders. Yeah, I know. Movement 5, toughness 7. There we are. Toughness 7. Okay, so they're thickums. They're thickums. 3 up save, 6 wounds, 8 leader. Ugh. Leadership is not great. Okay. OC2. Right. No, because remember, some people like look at him. Battle shock test. So that.
But 8 is not. 8 overall is not bad. 7 is the average. So you're a little under average.
All right. You want to roll under, right? Yeah, you want to roll under. No,
over.
Over. That's right.
At or over.
I wish they would have not done that. I wish they would have just done.
They just roll high. Yeah, that's okay.
It's the opposite. It's like the same thing with Twin Linked. Twin Linked is reroll wounds instead of reroll hits.
Yeah.
They could have just called it shred. Anyway, in your command phase. Oh, it is Deadly Demise 1 too.
Yes.
So, in your command phase, select one friendly Canoptek Scarab Swarm unit within 6 inches of this unit. Are they next? Because I could do the both of them. Yeah, I'll do both of them just to kind of condense them. So choose one friendly Canoptek Scarab Swarm within 6 inches of this unit. 1 destroyed model is returned to the Canoptek Scarab Swarm unit for each spider model in the unit. Okay, so let me check. Do they have reanimation protocols? They do.
Everything does.
All right,
There's not a thing that doesn't have that.
It's just auto giving you one plus whatever you do on the reanimation.
And notice that's in your command phase, not at the end. So that would actually, in general, go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Points wise for these guys, there it is. 75 for 1, 150 for 2.
All right. War gear. So it looks like they have 2 war gear.
Yep, you can choose an option.
So you could take 2 particle beamers, 1 Fabricator Claw Array, or 1 Gloom Prism. Oh my god! So
my apologies. They can take both.
Oh,
there's nothing that says any model can be equipped with 1. Any model can be equipped with 1. So it's not an either or. You can take both.
Oh, so you can have all 3.
Well, there's 2 war gear. You can take both war gear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you have the Fabricator Claw Array, which is an aura. While friendly Necron vehicle units are within 6 inches, the unit has a 6 up, feel no pain. Neat. Ish. Gloom Prison. While the your Seraptic might actually love that. Gloom Prison. While the friendly Necron unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, that model has a 4 feel no pain against psychic attacks. Interesting. Very specific, but there are some armies that will absolutely hate you if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't take it just for that, but taking 1 or 2 might be nice. Ranged weapon. It has a particle beamer. It's blast and devastating wounds. It's 18 inches, D6 attacks, hits on 3s, strength 6, 1 damage. Again, you're not taking it for the shots.
No.
Although the claws are kind of scary. 5 attacks, hitting on 4, strength 8, AP 2 damage. Okay.
Yeah. Hitting on 4s is a little rough, but the rest of it's good.
Yeah, if you can spike the hits, strength 8, AP 2 and 2 damage is nice. Power fist, basically.
Yes.
So I'm going to really quick because you're not going to take Canoptek Spiders without Scarab Swarms. So really quick, how many points are Scarab Swarms?
Scarab Swarms are 3 models for 40, 6 models for 80.
Good, they're cheap. 9-inch move. Wait, hold on. How fast is the Canoptek Spider? Oh, 5. Oh, shoot. All right, so it's got to
he's slow.
Yeah. So 9-inch move, toughness 2. Okay. They were toughness 3 before, though. I'm not crazy, right?
I'd have to look it up. I believe that's correct, but I'm not sure.
Please look it up because that's going to kill me.
All right.
So toughness 2, 6 up save, 4 wounds, leadership 8, OC 0. Their melee weapon has lethal hits, though. Hey, okay. 6 attacks, hitting on 5s. Strength 2, damage 1, but again, 6 attacks at lethal hits. And here we are. Self-destruction. At the start of the fight phase, if this unit is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, you can select 1 model in this unit to destroy. If you do not roll for that model's Deadly Demise ability. Instead, these have Deadly Demise.
Yes, they do.
Nice. Although, if you do not roll for that model's Deadly Demise ability. Instead, select 1 enemy unit with engagement range of that model and roll d6. Adding 1 to the result if that unit is a vehicle. On a 2 to 5, D3 mortal wounds. On a 6, D3 plus 3. Oh, sorry, swarm. I didn't even see
Yes.
this.
Yep, they have another rule.
I didn't even see this. While an enemy unit is within engagement range of this unit, subtract 1 from the objective control characteristics of models in that enemy unit to a minimum of 1.
But like most swarms, they have objective control 0.
0, exactly. You're pairing them up with something else.
Yeah.
Um,
They are cheap.
they're cheap, and together the pair, they're pretty neat.
Yeah.
The fact that you just keep returning Canoptek Scarabs, so it forces you to you have to kill them, or they're going to keep like booping the snoot. 6 attacks each too. Honestly, you're just looking for 6s, but if you hit on 5, sure.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything you hit is going to wound because you're not going to get many hits.
Yeah.
The self-destruct used to be a CP. It used to be a
and it's not free. Exactly. Yeah. So honestly, I'm okay with this unit. I'm okay with the both of them. Again, not auto take. They're not shit. They're useful in an army.
Yeah, they always had the on 6s auto wound. That's a rule they had before. They just had less attacks. They used to be 4 attacks. They're now 6.
6.
Overall, they're good. Actually, I do have a spider. I have not yet run it, but I usually used to run a lot of Scarab Swarms. Scarab Swarms are also very good in terms of blocking. So you can put them in front.
Blocking.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they used to be really good at scoring for objectives and things like that. Although there could be some issues now. They used to be able to do a lot of that for
because secondaries. The secondaries would be great for these guys. Oh, I have engage on all fronts. Here's my 40-point Scarab unit. It's going to go over there in that corner and score me 3 to 4 or 5 points.
No, it's very true. I think they can do that. Although remember, they're OC0, so they have if they have to control the objective, they can't do those.
No. It's more of like engage on all fronts.
Yes.
Line breaker.
Oh yeah. There's ones that they can do. There are some they won't help with.
How can swarms investigate? Can they do like actions to investigate stuff?
They used in the previous edition. No, this edition I don't believe there's any rule that stops that.
I don't think that stops you. So if you want,
I don't think so anymore.
Teleport homers with the swarms.
Yeah.
Like that,
they also used to be able to take it in larger sizes if you want, so you are more limited with the size.
No. What is it now? Wait, 6 now?
3 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Their role has changed a little bit. I ran them a bunch before. I haven't run them yet, but I do want to throw them in a list to see how it feels, especially with a spider. I do think the spider's nice. I don't know if it necessarily needs the help because what these guys are going to do, spider probably won't necessarily be able to keep up, but maybe it can catch up later. And in melee, the spider can help fight.
Honestly, that would be the problem for me. A spider moves 5 and these guys move 9. That means that on turn 2, they're already outside of the aura.
Yes.
If I did my math correctly.
Yeah. They slowed down an inch. They used to be 10-inch move. So they're a little slower. Not by much. And 4 wounds.
They do fly too.
Yes, they fly.
That's okay.
Yeah. And I think the spider has them all underneath. What am I looking for? Oh, no, there were 4 attacks. No, so it wasn't the attacks. I was looking at wounds. Wounds, there were 4 before as well. But lower toughness. So, good. Not amazing, but good. I do look forward to trying some out and seeing if I can use them in a useful way and see what they can do for me. Next up then is the Ophydian Destroyers. Ophydian were much maligned, in my mind, in the previous edition. Several reasons why they just... It's somewhat the same problem they have here. Their strength 4. You used to be able to get better strength. There was ways to get that with the dynasties, so you could get them a bit stronger. You're not really going to be able to do that here. In general, I think our close combat has taken a bit of a dive. It's not necessarily bad, but there's definitely options you used to be able to boost in useful ways that you just can't boost currently. For these guys, 110 for 3 or 220 for 6. They're move 9, toughness 5, 4 up save. 3 wounds a pop, leadership 7, 2 objective points each. They are good for objectives because these guys do deep strike. So you can potentially grab some backfield objectives with these guys. They have tunneling horror. So at the end of your opponent's turn, if they're not within engagement range of enemy models, you can remove them from the battlefield. Reinforcements of your next step, pop them back down outside of 9 normal rules. So if you went and scored an objective or did something good, and you're like, I need to get out of here, pop them up, get your new objective, go somewhere else. They can also take plasma sights, 1 for every 3. So they can get the devastating wounds. For their weapons, 5 attacks a guy, hit on 3s. Oh, sorry. Hit on 3s. Strength 4, AP -2, 2 damage. The strength 4 is the part that really hurts. Yes, there is there is that way to get the +1 strength, but that's probably still not necessarily doing enough for me.
I mean, okay, but counterpoint.
Right.
These guys are not supposed to be your line breaker or your melee units. They're melee. They can hold their own. I would use these guys very much how I use my Alaris. They have deep strike, so I could use them for secondary point holders, right? How much is 3 of them?
3 of them are 110.
Yeah, cheap. So for 110, I could deep strike these guys whenever I need to hold or engage them up fronts, or maybe whatchamacallit,
Don't tap
behind
the
enemy
table.
lines.
Sorry, I don't know how I keep telling
you. Behind enemy lines. But because they also have tunneling horror, right? You can kind of deep strike them again. So
big distinction is their AP. They do have more attacks in general, not by much, but they do have a few more. But their AP is worse. Again, this used to be guys where in 1 in 3 could take a better weapon. The better weapon upped their strength by 2, so it would be strength 6 instead. Better AP at AP 4, 3 damage flat. So, and they're tiny. They have like little razor claws on them. They got extra attacks on those as well. So they used to feel like they could do a little more. These guys,
surprised they don't have extra attacks because of the claws.
I agree. I don't know why they didn't get them, because that's what they had before. Their Ophydian claws. There was 2 extra attacks each, but it was at -1 damage, so a little bit extra, little something else to pump something out with.
Honestly, having 2 attacks extra, strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage, make these a little better, you know.
It would make them better. The strength 4 is still the part that hurts, because I don't necessarily want to spend my 1 round, 1 turn CP to get them to strength 5.
Yeah.
Because they're not being led. And it's not like they're going to have the crown anywhere near them, because these guys are probably deep striking in. The best bet is to deep strike and pick the turn
it's
that's advantageous.
It's deep strike and deep strike again. That's what makes them kind of cool in my mind. And again, they're okay.
Stop touching the table.
That wasn't me. I think I just dropped it.
No, you slammed the table.
All right. So, that was me dropping something though. So let me get that.
Yeah, your hands when you tapped.
No, that was you're hearing this basically. That's what you hear.
Yeah,
that's me playing with it. I don't know if you can see in the camera.
I can't.
It's me dropping this.
What?
It's
Oh, I know what it is. It's a sculpting tool. It's more of like you.
I keep dropping it from my hands to keep.
You're like your 6th graders. You can't keep your hands to yourself.
Absolutely not. So, have you not seen me play or talk to someone?
I know.
I always have something in my hands.
I record with you like 5 hours a week. I know exactly what you do.
I need. You know what I need? I need one of those stupid.
You need like a fidget spinner.
Not a fidget spinner, but those. What are they called? Those toys. Those clicking toys.
I know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
They're like buttons or like flip switch.
Yeah.
All right, so my thing with they're not as good as the Alaris Custodians, although the Alaris Custodians are obviously more expensive. Obviously, right? But I would still take them, because my Alaris Custodians that I take, sure they shoot, sure they're really tough, sure they can do melee, but funny enough, I use them. That's their side stuff. I use them because they can deep strike and because they have basically the same rule as tunneling horrors, and they have saved my ass on more than one occasion. Like I can pull like behind enemy lines. If you take 2 units of these for 220, that's automatically 8 points.
True, but
unless
I have to pull
somehow,
and I can't pull turn 1, and there's some requirements there. I wouldn't go flexibility. 2. I do like a squad of 3 because I do like the deep strike ability. I do like the re-deep strike ability. I like that in a slow army, I have a way to be on the other side of the board. I do like them for charges on lighter units.
One unit of 3.
Yeah, I think a unit of 3 more, you're just spending too much for something that if they want to get rid of, they can. And you're more of trying to do a little utility with it rather than really trying to slap them around.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. Plus, it also helps. I only have 3 done right now. But even if I had more, I wouldn't. Now at those points cost, they used to be cheaper. If they were a little cheaper, I might consider a bigger block. But at the current points cost, I don't want a bigger block. All
I just
right.
realized who did these guys? That was you, right? Oh,
That
yeah.
was
So
me.
it's me
You
next.
have the Tomb Blades.
So Tomb. Oh, this is another unit I don't like the look of for
I
some odd
like them a
reason.
lot, actually. But you don't.
And you know what it is too. Besides this one, I
You
don't
don't
mind
like
the
good. You don't
rider.
have good taste.
No, it's not the rider. It's the stupid. Does it have the nubbin in the back, like that stupid nubbin in the back, the
It,
grav shoot?
it's a gun.
Wait, their gun is to the back. I thought that was their stupid like engine.
Maybe it's an engine to me. I think it looks more like a gun to me.
Why is their gun to the? Oh my fucking god!
They would
Movement
hit you
12.
after strafing past you. That's what it looks
Movement
like to me.
12, toughness 5, 4-up save, 2 wounds, leadership 7, OC 2. They have a bunch of abilities, by the way. They
Yes,
have
they do.
Scout 9 inches, which is actually fantastic
Needed in this army.
and neat in this edition. Evasion engrams. Each time an attack targets this unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Excellent. Now, war gear. Oh, God. All right. I'm going to talk about the range weapon. Can you read the war gear below and just tell me what the options are after I read the
Yes.
weapons? So they can take some range weapons. They can have a particle beamer, 1 particle beamer, 1 Tesla cannon, or twin Gauss blasters. The particle beamer is blast and devastating wounds, 18 inches, D6 attacks, twos to hit. Nice. It's run 6 AP 0, 1 damage. So again, you're fishing for devastating wounds, and the blast is nice in case you're shooting a large unit. I mean, that's D6 plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, in case, you get higher and higher. Twin Gauss Blaster is the same thing we've seen. It's lethal, twin linked, 2 shots, 3-5, -1, 1 damage. And the Tesla Carbon, I think, is the same thing too. 2 shots,
Yeah.
3-5, 0, 1 damage, but it's got sustained hits too.
And assault, which is important. So if you need these guys to get a little bit further,
well,
you can do that.
Yeah, assault. They were assault before too. War gear. All right. I'm assuming any number can be equipped with
So
1.
anyone can take shield veins.
Okay.
Get you a 3-up save. So everyone has shield veins automatically. They're all 3-up saves. The other
Wonderful.
2 you choose between.
So I could choose between a 5-up invul or ignores cover. The 5-up invul. I do not care about the nebula scope. 5-up invul.
Yeah, a Norse cover is a useful rule, but it's not going to do enough for you with the type of weapons these guys have.
An index hammer, where
Yeah.
these don't cost points, 5-up invul.
Yes.
When they actually come up with points, and this costs like 10 points, 15 points a model, okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
But honestly, 5-up invul.
Yeah, especially because like your AP is 0 except on the Twin Gauss Blaster, which means that their 3-up save cover's not helping them.
Exactly.
So
But you take the particle beamer anyway.
yeah.
You
So
take
think
the
about
particle beamer because it's better, but
Yes.
5-up invul.
Yeah, and their close
Honestly,
combat
fast.
is awful.
Yeah, no, I skipped it.
They're,
So
they're
fast.
warriors strapped into this. That's
They're
why
fast.
it's so bad.
They're somewhat ironically tough. OC2. They got pretty good weapons. I didn't even talk about the points. What are they? 3-6? Yeah. What are their points? Are we talking?
I was looking at them before. They got 3 models for 80, 6 models for 160. I don't own any, but I do want to because I like the idea of a 6-man unit. That's still pretty cheap. -1 to hit is going to help. Toughness 5 is going to help. You will have a 3-up save and a 5-up invul, so you're going to have saves. And at 2 wounds, with the way reanimation works now, they're not going to most likely be able to wipe out 6 unless that's all they want to shoot at, which means I'll be able to get some of the guys back. And the Scout 9 means I can be positioned for getting
Perfectly,
into good range. And, like I said, 9 and then a 12, you can be wherever you really kind of want to be. Tomb Blades are actually very good now.
Yeah. They were good last edition, too, I remember.
They were. The problem was war gear prices. Because to take them to be good, they got very expensive. War gear right now is all free, so you can make them the best that they'll ever be. Once we have to start paying for it, because I absolutely think we will, when we start paying for it, then their efficacy might go down quite a bit. Because we don't know what they're going to charge us.
Oh, good unit.
Yeah. I like those guys. We are on to Praetorians. All right, we had a brief pause there for a moment, but we're back. And we're back with Praetorians. Praetorians, I know are expensive. I just looked at their points. Praetorians are 135 for 5 or 270 for 10. So these guys are pricey. For Praetorians themselves, This is the other part of the Lychguard kit. Triarch Praetorians, they're move 9 at toughness 5, 3 up save, 2 wounds a guy, leadership 7, 1 objective each. They can deep strike, which is useful. They can deep strike because they fly. They have their own form of a jetpack, essentially. They have relentless combatants. You can reroll charge rolls made by the unit, and this unit can declare a charge when you fall back, so you can fall back and charge. For range weapons, so they come base with the Rod of Covenant, which is 1 attack on 3s, strength 5, AP minus 2, 2 damage. You can replace it for Particle Caster and a Void Blade. So the Rod of Covenant is both range and close combat. Close combat profiles, 3 attacks on 3s, strength 5, AP minus 2, 2 damage. So decent stats there. Particle Caster is a devastating wounds pistol. The Rod of Covenant is essentially a two-handed weapon if you look at it. Particle Casters, 3 attacks on 2s, strength 5 with 1 flat damage, and then you get a Void Blade. 4 attacks, so more attacks, still hits on 3s, strength 5, AP minus 2, but 1 damage instead of 2.
You lose some damage bit. All right.
Yeah. Personally, for myself, I would be taking the Rod of the Covenant more because the AP in close combat's the same, but the damage is better. Strength is the same, but in shooting, I mean, pistol, I guess if you're in close combat, useful, but if you can fall and charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 attack on 3s in your squad with AP minus 2, you can do something. I'm very ho-hum on these guys. I don't think they're bad. I think they have some good aspects, but 135 for 5 or 270 for 10 starts getting very expensive.
Yeah, that's very expensive. And they can't be led by anyone, can they?
No, they cannot. So they can get a little better if you have the the crown near them. But for what you get, I'm not quite sure if you get quite as much. Because, like, again, this is a unit where if I can get some of my buffs, if I'm close to the crown, if I'm close to my Reanimator, I can make them sing. I can do a lot of good. But they deep strike. They're probably going to want to deep strike and come in, so they're not going to be near those utility pieces. They might not be near much else of your army. Yes, their weapons are pretty decent. A squad of 10 is going to get a good amount of attack. Strength 5 at AP minus 2, 2 flat damage is good. But 3 up save on toughness 5, if you really want to take them down, you might have some good AP minus 1, AP minus 2 shots. 2 wounds means you hit them with a little bit of your heavier weapons that are base 2 damage. The survivability, I think, is their problem. And the damage they can dish out compared to survivability, I don't know if they get enough. They're not glass cannons because I don't think their profiles are big enough to be called a glass cannon. But their survivability, I'm not sure is quite enough for this because your army is slow. If your army is slow and these guys are close to you, that makes an easy target. You know, target prioritization for your mid-level shots. If you have these guys, I'm targeting them because your other stuff isn't probably to me yet. It's not necessarily threatening me yet. Your Lychguard are walking across the board. They're not here yet. You know, unless you deep strike these guys at the perfect time and all. I like them, but I went Lychguard and I'm happy.
Honestly, and I was going to say, it's a dual kit. So do you want these or do you want Lychguard? And
the fact that Lychguard can be led is why I want Lychguard. They had the same problem in the previous edition because their Triarch, certain things did with Triarch, but not everything. So like the Silent King helped Triarch stuff and all that. But even then, you know, I look at it now, Lychguard can get a lot of extras, even just because of who can get in there. These guys can't. If there was a Triarch character that could attach to them, I would like these guys so much more.
So much more. Yep.
I want a character that gives, say, lethal hits. There you go. I want a character that even all it does is give me lethal hits and does something for themselves. This unit feels a lot better. But maybe one day I'll get some. I'm in no rush. If anyone's selling a bunch of stuff for cheap, let me know. That's about how I would do it. All right. Wraiths used to be the bane of existence for the longest time.
Bane of existence. Yep. They do look cooler now, though. God, I hated their old sculpt so much. This new sculpt is so much cooler. But looking at the sculpt from the picture, please tell me that you have to. Are those stupid arm balls one piece or two?
So I have like 1.5 of these because I got them from someone. I
All right.
don't know. I haven't actually assembled one
Shit.
of these guys because price wise, I didn't bother. And when I started getting Necrons, I got so many other things I just never got to it. So they are
All right. So we
3
got.
for 110, 6 for 220.
Oh, okay, so same price as the
The Skorpekh Destroyers, the Ophidians,
yes.
they're all essentially the same price.
All right. By the way, you can equip with a particle caster or a
Transdimensional Beamer.
transdimensional beamer, and then you have your attack. So it is movement 9, toughness 6, 3 up save, 3 wounds, 8 leadership, 2 OC. Okay, okay. They do fly as well. They're
Yep.
beasts. Do at least they're not mount. We didn't know what mounted was. Do you know what beasts are? Can they go through walls? Because that already makes or breaks it for me. While Dave looks up beasts,
Yeah, I'm gonna check.
Wraith form. They got a 4-up invul too, which is nice. So no
Yes,
longer
they've
the
always
3
had
up
that.
invul.
Yeah.
No, remember they used to have 3-up invul.
There was ways to get. Yeah, I thought that was something that got them to it. Was it base 3 or did
No,
they
it was
take
base
something?
3
And
up
go
invul.
oh, okay. I thought it
Yeah,
was
it was
something that
based.
did it. But
I remember these jerks.
okay.
Is them and Zoanthropes for some odd reason at 3-up invulls. Anyway, each time this unit ends a normal move, you can select one enemy unit and moved over during that move and roll 1d6 for each model in that unit. For each 4+, they suffer 1 mortal wound. Okay, neat.
Infantry and beast models can move through terrain features.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I like them again. They have a particle caster or a transdimensional beamer. So you get both 12 inches. The particle caster is devastating wounds and a pistol. 3 attacks, 2s to hit, strength 5, AP nothing, 1 damage. Versus the beamer, which is 1 attack at a 4, strength 4, AP 2, 3 damage. Ugh.
It's very good against Terminators if you can get the 1/4 of the time that you hit.
Exactly. Oh man, that's such a. But the other one's devastating wounds and pistol, so you can shoot into close combat if they get stuck. Oh, that's such a hard damn decision. Okay, I'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
Melee weapons, you can choose to either use your claws or your whip.
Well, so you have to substitute at list build which one you're taking.
Oh,
They don't come with both now. The whip is actually something you put on them off of like their tail.
Oh, it's an actual whip. God. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got 4. The claws are 4 attacks, hitting on 4, strength 6, AP 1, 2 damage. The whip is 8 attacks, 4s, 4, 0. I don't know. You take the vicious claws. Why would you take the whip coils?
Yeah. You do get more attacks, but if they had put the strength up with that as well, I could see the trade-off of less damage.
Exactly.
I don't have the AP, but like I got more attacks.
Less strength. Or like lethal hits. I would have taken lethal hits on this.
Yeah. Give me something and then I'm happy with it. The way they have it now, I do want to keep the vicious claws. They've always hit on 4s, but I want this guy to be able to pump out some damage to actually kill a Marine.
Yeah. The beamer or the part. You know what? I'm taking the particle caster.
Because they're probably going to be stuck in close combat.
Exactly.
So, yep,
and getting those extra 3 shots in are going to help. And it's devastating wounds. So, hey, I rolled a 6. Congratulations, mortal.
Yeah. The particle beamer is like it feels good if you get it, but you got to hit on 4, and it's only strength 4. Yeah, it's damage 3. AP minus 2 is great.
5 now.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it's even worse than 1 1/4 because they're toughness 5.
Yeah, they're toughness 5.
The things that you want a damage 3 shot against have too high of a toughness, and everything else you don't need 3 damage to take down. So no, I agree. I would go particle caster so I can get my melee shots in, and vicious claws so I can get the actual true melee damage in. Their wraith form, it's a d6 for each model in this unit. On a 4-up, they take 1 mortal wound. Cool. It used to be that they ignored everything that they move over. They can move through anything. They ignore all of it while moving. That was very strong because that means you can't screen. You couldn't screen against them. I just go right through you. They also used to be faster. Pretty sure they used to be 12. But the mortal is nice. I only own like 1.5 of these guys. I own a full one, and one of the other ones is like missing the tail. So I don't think they make it into your big competitive list. If you're playing for fun, I think these guys can absolutely have a spot. Points-wise, they're not too expensive. And they have some decent survivability at toughness 6 with the 3 wounds. Again, with the way reanimation works now, they have chances of actually getting that back. If I'm going to run them, though, I think I actually run the 6 block. I don't think I go for the 3 because the mortal wounds I want extras. Their attacks are decent, but I think I need weight of fire for these guys to be able to actually get some good out of them. But with their speed, they can be a bit of a vanguard force. They can go into a unit that maybe was coming at you. They have a 4-up invul, so I can go into something that maybe I shouldn't beat. I can maybe get a couple lucky mortal wounds in or a couple nice AP -1/2 damage shots in. And with a 4-up invul, it's going to be a little harder to remove me from the board. I like them. I'd like to own more. Maybe one of these days I'll look to see if anyone's have they eBay. So let's see. All right, Annihilation Barge. We are getting somewhat close to where we're going to end. While we paused, we talked about where we'll end, and the idea is about halfway because there's so many things in here. This guy's 115 points. This is the Catacomb Command Barge flipped upside down. You put guns on top instead of a guy. If you're careful, you can actually get it so it can go back and forth between the two. Any barge is move 9, toughness 8, so good toughness. 3-up save, but a 4-up invul, because again, they don't have quantum shielding anymore, so it's essentially 4-up invuls, but now they don't have a transhuman. 9 wounds, leadership 7, 3-up. For anyone who's new, what transhuman used to do, you couldn't be wounded on worse than, in this case, worse than a 4-up. So if something could actually wound you on a 3, no, goes to 4s. Their deadly demise 1, they have malevolent arcing. In your shooting phase, each time you select a target for the twin Tesla Destructor, roll a d6 for the target unit and a d6 for every unit within 3 inches. On a 5-up, they're struck by arcing energies. After resolving your attacks, they take D3 mortal wounds. So once you're done shooting, the unit you shot at and anyone else within 3 on a 5-up takes D3 mortals, which is nice. And notice, though, that is for your twin Tesla Destructor. So it has a Gauss Cannon, twin Tesla Destructor, and its armored bulk. And you can replace the Gauss Cannon with a Tesla Cannon. So that does mean you always have the Destructor, so you always will have this. Destructor itself is sustained hits 2, twin linked, 36-inch range. It's 6 attacks on 3s. All of its hits are on 3s. Strength 8, no AP, but 2 damage. So a pretty good profile. The fact that you got sustained hits 2, you have 6 dice, so you're pretty likely to get at least 2 more out of that. That should cover for the ones that you miss with. So you should really be hitting with 6. Wounding, strength 8 is actually a very good strength to be at. Flat 2 damage. Tesla Cannon or Gauss Cannon are your choices. Gauss is a lethal. Tesla is always sustained hits, so sustained hits 2. The Gauss is 3 shots instead of the Tesla for 4. Strength 5 instead of 6. Gauss Cannon's AP -2, 2 damage. Tesla is strength 6, no AP, but 1 damage. The armored bulk is nothing special. 3 attacks on 4, strength 6, 1 damage. Don't get this thing in close combat. It's going to be a bad day. Since your Tesla Destructors are already the flat 2 damage and all of that, I do like the Gauss for lethal hits to get good AP here. I kind of personally like that a little bit more because this way my whole base is 2 damage. You fail anything, I'm removing a Marine per fail. If you have 4 wounds, I'm getting that through as well. So I do like it that way. For this guy, like I said, he's 115. I don't believe I have one of these. Would I take one? I like it overall because it's at least a vehicle, better toughness. I do think we have some... Its weapon kind of sits in the middle. It's not anti-tank. It's decent anti-infantry, but we have some other spots. So I would take one if I had one. I do like the maneuverability at 9 inches and a nice little faction. And being able to get out those mortal wounds. We don't do a ton of mortal wounds. So on a 5-up, getting some mortal wounds if they clump up together, I think is actually pretty good. Overall, I'm rather positive on this thing. I don't know if you think the same or feel any different about it.
Counterpoint the Gauss Cannon with the Tesla.
Yeah.
Because it already has 2 damage, and sometimes you'll leave something on 1 wound, I would shoot the Tesla first, then the twin Tesla Destructor. Because if you have multiple things at 2 damage, then you might leave something on 1 wound. So I like the Tesla with the twin Tesla. because that way you're at least picking off 1 wound models. And plus, I feel like it's more horde clear, ironically.
Oh, I agree. I think you're using
Yeah.
this to clear out hordes. I don't think because you don't want to target anything too heavy because strength 5 or 6. I mean, the big gun being at 8 is nice, but yeah, I could see either ones. I kind of like the other one a little bit more, but the sustained hits on the Tesla cannon on those 4 attacks, if you can get a couple 6s, it's going to feel a lot better. Overall, though, it's good. Overall, I like it. Just keep it out of combat. Run away.
Last tank of the night, I'm assuming.
I think so. For tonight, I think this puts us at it. Time-wise, we might do one other thing. We'll see. But otherwise, this probably takes us there. But go ahead.
Doomsday Ark. I remember this being the anti-tank thing, right?
It is
this was
anti-tank, yeah. If the spines are down, it's for tanks. If they're up, it's for warriors.
Warriors, got it. All right, so how many points is it?
Let me click over and take a look. Doomsday Ark is 185.
Okay, not bad. Movement 9, toughness 9. It is okay.
Yes.
3 up save, 14 wounds, leadership 6, OC 5. It is a 4 up and vulnerable save. You subtract 1 from the hit roll when it has 1 to 5 wounds. In your movement, deadly demise D3. In your movement phase, if the model remains stationary until the end of the turn, its Doomsday Cannon has the devastating wounds ability. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see what it's got. So, first of all, wait real quick. 2 Gauss Flare Rays. Those are the things on the side, right?
Yeah, those are all the guns on the side that mine doesn't have because I got it from someone and the guns aren't there.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So technically, you have 10 shots at 24 inches, 3s to hit, 4, 1 damage. It's okay. The lethal hits and rapid fire 5. Oh my God. Does it put out 20 shots at 12 inches?
Yes, because that would be per.
Oh. Okay.
It actually is. So you're going to see in a moment when we talk about this, people talk about this as being a very good weapon or a very good kit. Because even with that, the Gauss Flare Ray, okay, I fire at your light targets. If I'm within 12 inches of them, I'm getting tons and tons of attacks.
Yeah. With lethal hits. So it's like,
yeah.
I'm only strength 4. I don't care.
You're shooting like you're a 10-man warrior squad.
Exactly. Okay. Doomsday Cannon. It is heavy, blast, 72 inches, D6 plus 1. Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
3s to hit, strength 15. Why is that? Why 15? That's so weird. Strength 15, because normally it's usually 16, 14, 18, 20. 15 is just weird. AP 4 damage.
This thing is a beast.
Yeah.
Absolute
I like this
beast.
a lot. I like this a hell of a lot.
For quick compare, actually, I'll pull it up on my phone. I'll do it this way. You can go ahead and talk for a second. Let me pull it up this way.
No, I like this thing. D6 plus 1 attacks, minimum of 2 shots, right? And blast. Let's say you're shooting a 5-man Terminator squad. Haha, now it's minimum 3 shots. Screw you, right? You're going to win them on 2s, unless they're like toughness 8 Terminators. You're going to be hitting their invuls. And here's where it gets super cool. Damage 4 wipes out shield Terminators.
Yes, it does.
So this is an amazing breakpoint.
And at 15, you're also very good against vehicles because most vehicles in the game you're wounding on 3s. Even knights.
Yeah.
I was actually using Doomstalkers, but against that, when I was going against knights. So the difference is Doomstalkers are other big anti-tank. Locust Heavy Destroyers as well, but in this sort of vein. Their gun is 14 strength, AP minus 3 damage. Somewhat similar, but it doesn't get the devastating wounds. So that's the other one we take. This one, for pound is better. You're doing more flat damage. You have better AP. You have that better strength. The Doomstalker, where is he? Oh, he's in
I was just looking at
I'm sure. I'm looking for his points.
Canoptek, by the
125. So this thing is more. But,
a lot more.
But I think you get enough for that. Because the Doomstalker has like 2 Gauss Flares. So he's got 2 shots or 4 shots when you get close and all.
Yeah.
This thing has tons of normal anti-infantry weapons. And then it's got a very good giant gun that if you don't move. So you might move it the first turn, something like that, to get yourself set up. And then you kind of hang out. And then you have devastating wounds. You can turn some of those potentially straight to mortals. I said blast with heavy, so you can be hitting on 2s if you're not moving. You're getting devastating wounds if you're not moving. And if you're going against, say, a Terminator unit, you're going to get +1, maybe even +2 if they're a big Terminator unit. Or attack their heavy tanks. You could be hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s, and any of your 6s going straight to mortals against them. At AP -4, they're on their invul save. They might be on a 6-up armor if they were 2-up before, but otherwise they're on their invul saves. If they have it. Not every tank has it. This thing is absolutely great. It does a lot of good, and I'm currently working on painting mine up. Mine's also missing the prow front, like the Viking vehicle prow front that it has. I don't remember who I got the stuff off of, but it was very cheap, so it's okay. It's missing a few things. I'll print a prow front if I really care. No, this thing is absolutely great. That might do it for us tonight. I'm counting how many other things. Yeah, I think that would do it for us tonight. I think that's a good spot there, because when we get to Locust, I think it would make sense to talk both Locusts. And that gives us about the same amount of stuff, so this way, because we would have a minimum another hour to get through everything, and that is far too much time when I have to work in the morning. So, we're going to go to closing thoughts on these guys. We did kind of a weird... It used to be by slots, so like we could have differentiated this a little nicer. It's kind of random. Yeah. We are essentially going mostly into the heavy slot now. The old heavy slot is what this was for most of these things, but is a little random. How do you feel about tonight's
honestly,
entries?
They're really great. You got, I mean, except for the Flayed Ones.
Yeah, Flayed Ones are rough.
They're rough. But honestly, even the stupid, not Triarchs, what the hell are they called? God damn it.
Triarch Praetorians.
No. The triple-legged dudes. The triple-legged dudes.
They're like big, Skorpekh Destroyers.
Yeah, Skorpekh. Even the Skorpekh Destroyers are pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, you could see where this army can fill out certain roles. Yes. Is the nicest way to put that. You have your anti-tank. Well, we haven't gotten too much of the anti-tank yet, but I know it's coming up.
Yes.
But we saw one anti-tank right now. But you have your like swarms that you can keep replenishing. You have your melee. You have your really good battle line. Even the Deathmarks are pretty good. There's some stuff that are better than other, obviously, but they're all good.
Yes. There's some what you might call obvious choices, but I think even there, the stuff is close enough that if you want to build a fun list, you can really kind of go with where you want and feel okay, as long as you're willing to take like a unit that you need complement. Like, you're going to need anti-tank. That means you're taking Doomsday Arks, Locust Heavy Destroyers, or Canoptek Doomstalkers, most likely one of those. You might take a few, because Locust Heavy Destroyers, we haven't talked about it yet, but their damage is flat 6. So like, or some of the other giant vehicles might do some of that as well, but you're going to need some of that. After that, you can kind of sprinkle to taste to make a fun list. And if you want to make a really good list, then you're looking at warriors, you're looking at the characters you throw in, you're looking at some items like that. I haven't watched competitive, so I don't know. I know they've done well overall, especially early because people don't know how to do attrition lists. But I don't know what the super competitive stuff is. Next time I'll look that up so we can kind of have that sort of discussion.
I sent you a link.
When did you send it?
On the Facebook. It was literally a Necron player in Tacoma talking about his list.
Wait, is this in that new Facebook group that you put me in?
Yeah, and I tagged you and I was like, hey Dave, check this out.
So my phone doesn't show me the tags anymore. It doesn't put me back to it. It'll show if I scroll to it, but it doesn't naturally do the tags. Also, when did I get put in this group? I wasn't here yesterday.
I literally just sent it to you today.
Okay, that's good, because I saw stuff and I saw a group that said 40k in AOS chat, and I'm like, what happened? Is this battle tag?
It's our 30k guys. We put our own little chat for 40k because we didn't want to put it with 30k, but it's most of the guys anyway.
That's what I noticed, because at first I'm looking, I'm like, did you just rename the chat? No, there's just 2 of the chats with all the same people.
Exactly. It's just we wanted so it didn't go back and forth. But
there it is. I saw it. Yep.
Oh, you found it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Reddit. It's the guy who played Necrons. I think he went 6-1.
He said 8-0.
Oh, no, he didn't. He didn't go 8. He lost.
He said games. My 8-0. I can't tell you. That's what he said. Maybe he's a liar.
Oh, I think he lost the shadow round. That's why.
That's probably
He
what it
definitely
was.
lost one.
If he lost Shadow Round, that could be it, because then that's why he wouldn't have gotten to the following day.
Exactly. Okay. So
I'll
yeah,
read
no,
through
he
this
went
later. This is...
and
Oh,
just look at the list real quick. Tell me what you thought. Now I gotta find it.
now I
And
gotta
how
pull
did
up the list.
how-
And here's the other thing. I'm not currently displaying the list. So,
I can
where
do it
did
for
he...
five
Oh, he put
seconds.
the list in his comments, didn't he? Yeah, he did.
No, no, he has it in there. Wait, did he put it? No.
I think it's his first
Wait.
comment.
Scroll down, scroll down,
Yeah, someone
scroll
said, hey,
down.
could you put the list? Okay, his list.
Now
He's
I'm
got a
scrolling
Hexmark
down.
Destroyer. Hexmark Destroyer. He's got an Overlord. Warscythe. Resorb. Void. Sorry,
Let me just look at it.
Void Scythe. My apologies. Resorb. Another Overlord with exactly same way. Two Technomancers with Canoptek Cloaks. He's got Transcendent Satan, which is good. He's got the Reanimator. 2 units of Crypt Thralls. So the Crypt Thralls are so that way they'll go with the Technomancers to go in there to give the feel no pain to the units.
Yep.
He's got a Doomsday Ark, 2 of them. He's got 3 units of Locust Heavy Destroyers, 2 each. Remember, those guys, we haven't talked about them yet, but he took Gauss Destructors. Let me make sure the Gauss Destructor, I think, is
That's the anti-tank one. I just checked it.
Yeah, it's... so since we haven't talked about it yet, it's Strength 14, AP minus for 6 flat damage. 1 shot, and they have things that if you're shooting against a vehicle, you get to reroll 1s to wound with the weapon.
Okay.
2 Lychguard, 10-man squads with sword and board. So those 2 squads are where the Overlords are going, where the Technomancers are going with the Crypt Thralls, and a unit of Tomb Blades. 3 of them all kitted out so that we can kind of run around for objectives. I didn't watch the man's games. He does explain his games. I haven't read that yet, but I would absolutely make the assumption, 1, that's the only way those units go together. So he's got tons of anti-tank because you are absolutely worried about, 1, we do anti-tank very well. The other big thing is you're worried about heavy vehicle lists. They are a little bit of a boogeyman right now.
His first 2 rounds were Imperial Knights, I think.
Yes.
Let me scroll up.
Yeah, Imperial Knights, the Fat Demon
No, Astra
list.
Militarum with tanks.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, Astra Militarum with tons of tanks. Those are somewhat of a... somewhere between a boogeyman to both very good lists / lists that can be tough to deal with, because the way they do toughness now, since toughness is so much higher than it used to be on vehicles, if you don't have good anti-tank, you're really not scratching vehicles' paint. These are units that absolutely can scratch the paint, especially because like Gauss Destructor has lethal hits. I only got 1 shot, but if I happen to roll a 6, I've automatically are putting potentially 6 damage onto you because we're going straight to AP minus 4 now on you. Those 2 those 2 sword and board Lychguard units, their absolute purpose is to go melee people, sit on objectives, be very hard to move. The fact that you have Overlords means that you can spend, your 0 CP for intervention or whatever else you may need. I absolutely do like the list. A little more spammy than I like, but I understand at high levels, spam is what you go with.
Oh, yeah, this is a tournament. I'll say
Yes.
This is a straight tournament.
And
list,
absolutely,
so that's
the
why
same
it's
reason.
spammy, yeah.
Okay, the Hexmark. Yeah, you take a Hexmark because if they're shooting at you and they got some nice light infantry around, I can fire and start packing down your light infantry. Technomancers, I do think is a good choice there. Transcendent, like I said, it's overall for what it has the best Satan for what he needs in the army because it has the portability. It can just move around the board.
Same thing with the floaty boys. Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you that because he actually explains. He goes into like the literal thought process. So that's why I wanted to just show it to you.
Yeah, I'll go through his thought process because I want to see that. I do like this. Like I said, a little more spammy than I personally like, but I do like what I see here, and it's not overly nuts. The Locust Heavy Destroyers, I mean, I have 2. I would run more if I had more because I do like them. I think they're very good, and we're going to see in the future we talk about them. They're also fairly cheap. All right, so overall, we're very positive on what we see. We got some more that we got to see. All right, so that does it for us this evening. Remember, multiple ways to connect with us. If you want to contact us through email, trainkickersnj@gmail.com. We've had some people reach out. I do try to check it on a fairly regular basis. We have our Discord, which you'll find in the YouTube show notes. We have our Facebook. You'll find that in YouTube show notes. We have our Patreon information. In case you want to support us, we have that in the YouTube show notes as well. Other things to talk about. What other things? So we obviously have to get through more of this. We got more of this. Have you started thinking about where we want to go next? I want to do something we don't hone.
I want to do Votan. I'll
We
talk
do
to Gav.
Votan.
Maybe we can get some Votan in here.
Sounds good. Yeah, I want to go. I want to switch to something we don't own because I think
Because I want to see the
interesting.
salt. I keep looking at the Votan. I like what I see.
All
He
right.
plays it and he does it, and I want to see what I want to see the
We'll
from
see.
someone who plays it. Why? Yeah.
As someone who's who obviously we're players of the game, sometimes you can be, salty or concerned because you know what it used to do. Like Skorpekh Destroyers, they're fine, but I know what they used to do, and what they used to do was better. So when I look at them, there's always that little bit of a shade in my mind of I have lost out on something because I've lost a bit of what they used to do.
It's less salt. I want to see why he's
Okay.
negative. Because like I see the melee and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty damn good melee. So I want to see why.
It might be points. I haven't looked
Well,
at
it's
them
also,
enough
I mean,
yet.
statistics back them up because they're like at a 23% win rate.
Okay.
So
Okay. So
yeah, no,
there's
like,
something there. We'll get through
Yeah.
it. We'll figure it out. Like I said, reach out to him, see if he wants to come on, either for that, or even if he wants to do a separate little thing just to discuss his overall thoughts. Either way is fine. He can talk all of it or talk none of it. If he wants to talk, whatever. Always happy. Okay, so I think that's what we'll go with next. We got at least one more episode of this. Like I said, we hopefully this week can get a battle report or so done. I know next week we got some conquest battle reports we're gonna do. What are you doing tomorrow? Are you only available in the evening? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh no, tomorrow's gonna be busy as
Tomorrow.
hell.
Okay,
Sadly,
that's fine.
tomorrow's gonna be busy as hell.
Yeah, I'm debating what I'm doing. I have a league game for Conquest, but I don't know if I want to go quite that far. Just I've been real tired lately, so I might go into Maplewood for a little bit because that's going to be much more of my night. This way I can get back to help my wife faster. But I might go in and record some stuff. Maybe Friday might be able to. We'll have to see. Although we have a speaker system now in there, so if like we're blasting the music, we won't be able to. But we'll see. But we know we have a couple recordings, and we're going to try to do a recording ourselves at some point this week as well with some armies. We don't know if it'll be TTS or in person. It depends on what we want to play. Originally, the thought was with some demon stuff, but maybe I don't know. I haven't decided really.
I do
what
want to try
we
my
wanna do.
custodians. I played them once
Mhm.
as my first game in a 10th, and I made so many mistakes, and I want to try again because my demons are starting to get. Even though I do play the kaiju list a lot, even if I take the smaller demons, it's going to be the same. I play Corn, so it's deep strike, get into close combat, win. So I do kind of want to. Try the custodians because they actually are more varied too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. So we're gonna have to get some of that stuff out. There's a few other things we're working on, but all right. I think that is everything. Also, we got to do another live at some point because I got so much stuff to paint. And now we're actually at the point that people do super chats so they can yell at you,
exactly.
which I want to have happen. I want you to tap on the table and someone else yell, so that way it maybe it's more effective there. But so we have all of that. We have more things coming out soon.
Super chat $2. Here's money.
Now we'll make
for
it
Dan
cheap.
buy
It's
a
going to be
goddamn-
like, I don't know what the minimum is, but if
No,
it's
no,
for when you tap
I'm-
on the table, I'm going to make it like a penny if I can.
Someone's gonna super chat $2. Buy Dan a goddamn clicker.
We gotta like, conditional response this every time. Unfortunately, we're an audio medium. If you're watching on YouTube, you watch as we scroll through, but we also do audio medium. If I could, I would have a clicker, but that would get so unpleasant for everyone listening. But every time you do it, just a little bit. What I need, I've been watching a lot of Dragon's Den. I don't know why, but I found down that oubliette, and I watch 2 hours of Dragon's Den a day of YouTube videos as I drive to and from work. And like all these people, entrepreneurs with all it is, what I need one that's got like, you know how like your cat does some dumb shit, so you spray it with a bottle. I need that, but I need like a remote from like a distance.
Over computer, yeah.
Yeah, I need to be able to have like it's on your mic stand, like right above it, and like you tap on something, I hit it and just spritzes you right in the face. Kind of like what is it, like the one of those Airwick or who does the automatic sprayers?
Oh god, I don't even know.
And in like bathrooms, they have like automatic sprayers. It might be like Glade or something like that. I need like one of those, but it needs to fire like a fine mist of water, or would that be the best thing? Fine mist of water, probably. Anything else, what might be more detrimental? So maybe water. We'll see if that does. We'll try to do so. Little operational conditioning on you that we stop tapping on that desk, but we'll see. If anyone has any good ideas, put it in YouTube of good ways to make this. If anyone knows of a product that does this, I'm interested. All right, so we're going to get out of here, and we're going to see what else we record. You should hopefully be seeing this on Friday, because my goal is to edit it tomorrow. So, on behalf of everyone here at the show, has a good hobby, and some great gaming.